getting us here, because I never thought this series was going 7 games. I thought it was ending probably, and I was being generous, I thought it was going to end in 6. I could understand why people thought it was going to end in 5, but here we have, for the first time since 2016 in the NBA, we're going to have a game 7, and that's fantastic. It's must-watch TV night, there's no doubt. Indiana's a 7.5-point dog going into the game, and the total in the game is sitting at 215.
Should be a lot of fun. Look, we can talk about the Pacers. If they were ever to win this game, it's about as unlikely a champion as we've ever had in any of these major sports. 07 Giants, I don't even know who else you'd throw, at least in my lifetime, for a team that's 85-1 6 weeks ago. In a sport where you don't get upsets, you don't get this stuff. It's a sports movie. It really is. We're not there yet. I ultimately think, and I've seen this move to 7 in some spots, I think it's a little cheap on OKC. They've been shaky on the road. The offense has been shaky. They certainly, you and I talked about this earlier, they certainly played on Thursday night in Game 6 like they had a game to play with. The effort, the urgency was not at the same level of Indiana. But home, in their building, I worry about them being a little tight, granted, but I do think they'll get turnovers. I think they'll probably get the benefit of some calls. SGA, I'm sure, will march his way to the line. It's just human nature. It's not conspiracy theory stuff. It's just the nature of the playoffs. Home court, home crowd, home team is going to get the 50-50 calls more often than not. I think OKC pulls away late. I think India will be a game for maybe a half, maybe 3/4. Then OKC pulls away late and wins the game by 10 to 13 points, something like that. I like OKC, but you seem to have a differing opinion here. What do you like about the Pacers? Do you like the Pacers here plus the points? And would you actually take some on the money line? Do you think they win the game?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gutsy enough yet. And we're still 26 hours away, a little less from tip-off right out in Oklahoma City. I don't know if I'm there yet to dabble on the money line. I like them plus the points. I would take the Indiana Pacers plus the 7.5 for a couple of different reasons. Number one is don't disagree with the energy, the fouls, the officiating, that you're going to get the benefit of it. I think the inexperience, and I would say, honestly, at times the lack of focus you've seen from Oklahoma City, is a little bit concerning for me going into a game 7 if this game doesn't go exactly the way that they expect it. Like, Indiana needs McConnell to be good. They need, obviously, Pascal Siakam. They've got to outscore him from behind the arc. They've got to control the turnovers. They can't go out there, win a game 7 and have 20 plus turnovers tomorrow night. All of those things, right? And we'll see exactly what you get from Tyrese Halliburton and how long he can push or how hard he can push that strained calf. I think Indiana has gotten themselves here. There's no reason to believe that they enter that building tomorrow night thinking that they can't win. Now, what works against them is Oklahoma City is a decidedly different team at home as compared to on the road. But if the pressure, and all the pressure going into this game tomorrow night, is on Oklahoma City. Like you mentioned it, sure. What was their odds going into game 6 in order for the series? When you mentioned it was staggering before.
Oh, yeah, they were 12-1 on Thursday night. I mean, all they needed was 2 wins, and one of them was at home, 12-1, just needing 2 wins. So they've been, look, the market has certainly favored OKC in a lot of different ways here. 85-1 6 weeks ago. I mean, this is stuff you just don't see in sports in the NBA. So they've been, man, if you've had an inkling about the Pacers and you've been a believer, you've been rewarded with some fat returns on these bets.
Yeah, you really have been. And, and if Indiana shot the ball a little bit better in game 5 than they did, they got outscored from behind the arc. They were a 9-point dog in that game. They ended up losing that game by 11, right? So there are things, and they turned the basketball over left and right. That game was a 2-point game with 8.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter in game 5. Can they learn from that kind of mistake? Here's where I think you have to look at it. If you think, as you mentioned, you think Oklahoma City is going to pull away late and make it a 10 to 15 point victory, right, for OKC. And I don't have any reason to scream you down or tell you that you're crazy, Will, because I think that's well within the realm of possibility and probably more likely than anything else. If Indiana, though, can keep that or make that a 2-possession game with under 6 to go, how is Oklahoma City going to react? That's where I think Indiana has to get this game. If they can't get it there, then they can't win. They can't fall behind in this game by 15 points in the opening quarter or the opening half and expect to rally in the second half. I don't think that's going to happen. And I think, as we've seen in this series, the Pacers are, even though, Oklahoma City is great defensively, their defensive rating, Indiana is not that far off from the Thunder, given the way that this series has gone.
Do you see a reasonable scenario? I guess reasonable is the wrong word. Do you see a scenario where OKC comes out and just runs them off their floor and they're up 18 at half and they're up 25 middle of the third quarter, and we're texting each other and saying, man, this is a bummer. This will just end up being a blowout. We got our hopes up for nothing. You could see that happening?
And no doubt. Yes. And me texting you, Will, saying, I apologize. I was wrong. I'm sorry. You were right. You were dead on correct.
I hope we don't get it. I could see it too.
Will Hill, I trust.
I'm hoping we don't get it, but I do think, I wouldn't say it's likely, but I don't know. 30% chance we get one of those games where OKC says, you know what, we're done screwing around. We came out game 6. We didn't play well. We didn't play hard. We are the better team, even though we're not maybe one of these great all-time teams, and we're young, and you could say what you want about us. We've had 2 days to lick our wounds. We're home. We've been dominant, and we're going to do what to the Pacers, what we did to Denver in game 7. Remember, look, if they were that young and scared, maybe it would have shown in game 7 against Denver. They put a beat down. I was doing the live show on that Sunday, and they were down early. They were down 10. I remember, man, they're tight. They look nervous, and they destroyed Denver. They beat them by 30-something points, maybe even more. I could see a scenario where they're just, you know what, we're done messing around. We're home. We're better. We're going to show you guys, and spend the second half just talking about how great this Oklahoma City Thunder team is. I hope we don't get it. I hope we get a good game, but I do see that scenario being plausible.
Yeah, recent history shows you the last 5 game 7s that we've seen in the NBA, they've been decided by 7 points or less, that it ends up being tighter late. Obviously, we'll see exactly what transpires tomorrow night. And, the most interesting thing about tomorrow night, there's a lot of range of possibilities about the way that this game could go down. And a lot of them favor the Oklahoma City Thunder. But there is a narrow margin for Indiana to win this game. Anything when you look at totals, 215 for the game. You look at Indiana's total set at 103.5. You look at Oklahoma City's total set at 110.5. Anything from the player prop perspective that you're looking to take advantage of tomorrow night, Will?
Game 7s are typically unders, so my initial thought was to bet the under. That being said, game 1 of this series was like 231.5. Here we are 2 weeks later, same teams, and we're down to 250, and that's a 16-point adjustment. So I do think the under, and the fact that game 7s have been unders, I think that's well accounted for. Game 6 went way under. I'd probably still lean the under, but I just think the adjustment is there. The adjustment's justified, and I think it's been properly moved here to account for the fact that it's game 7. There's going to be some nerves. Teams probably aren't going to shoot as well because it's not as easy to shoot when you're nervous, when you're tight. It's one thing to shoot the ball in the middle of January on a Tuesday night against the Grizzlies or something. It's another thing with all these people watching, the title at stake, the trophy in the building, champagne in the building. It's harder to shoot 6 of 8 from 3 or have one of these great shooting guys. So I do think both teams will probably struggle to shoot at times. So I'd still lean towards an under, but again, we've moved it 16 points or so from where we were at game 1. How about you?
I'm going to go with I would probably, in terms of the total, we're sharing a brain, similar in nature. From a player prop perspective, there are 2 things that I like. I think it's kind of a roll of the dice with some of the secondary and tertiary players when you look at it in Indiana, who's going to be hot tomorrow night. I think the one key has got to be Pascal Siakam. His total is sitting there at 20.5. I think Siakam's going to be the guy that has shown you can beat you in a lot of different ways, whether it be shooting from behind the arc, whether it be inside, getting to the free throw line, the ability to finish on the break. And the other guy that's been Mr. Consistency for Oklahoma City, obviously, is the reigning MVP of the league, and that'd be SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, sitting there at 33.5 points. I know it's a high total, but if you like Oklahoma City and you think they win this game, then there's no way that you don't think that they're not winning this game at home tomorrow night without SGA having a massive imprint on this game offensively. And if you believe they're going to get the benefit of the whistle at home, that means that, I don't love the whole cliche of, or the nickname foul merchant. I think he benefits from being aggressive. I think you've seen that historically in the NBA. I would take SGA over his points. I'd take Siakam over 20.5.
Yeah, I could see that. Do you have any thoughts on the MVP? Do you think it's as simple as OKC wins, it's SGA? If the Pacers win, it's Siakam? Or could somebody have a monster game 7, whether it's Williams on OKC, Halliburton, McConnell, had his moments here? Do you think somebody other than the big two, Siakam or SGA, could be a legitimate finals candidate here? MVP candidate, I should say.
I'm not going to be creative. Okay. I don't. I can't see Jalen Williams at 6-1 being the MVP. Can you? If Oklahoma City wins tomorrow night, it's SGA. And I think if Indiana wins, I think the answer is Pascal Siakam.
There was a moment Thursday in Game 6 where I said McConnell at 140, 150 to 1 might actually be live, but he kind of cooled down. I'm not as enthusiastic on that theory as I was Thursday night for a moment where he really gave them a spark in Game 5 and in Game 6.
It's Live Bet Saturday. Will Hill, Mark Malusis with you right here on VSiN.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sinks overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog it.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sharp Betting Playbook by Josh Applebaum. Use code BOOK at VSiN.com/subscribe.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
Hi, this is Grace Remington for VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Thinking about backing a rookie quarterback as a big underdog this NFL season? Think again. Since 2015.
And we welcome you to Lakewood, Ohio, as Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network, is proud to bring to you Cleveland Cobras football here on this Saturday afternoon. And the Cobras get ready for interleague action as they get ready to host the PFA's Flag City Phantoms. Hello, everyone. Jim Craven with you, hosting an entirely Craven broadcast this week, as I'll be joined by my son, Will Craven, my brother, of course, Matt, pressing all the buttons, keeping us on the air, as Coach Bob Gessler on assignment today, probably right around the 18th hole, if you'll remember anything, as he celebrates some Cheney High School times over there as they honor some of the staff and coaches for the Cheney Cowboys. But nonetheless, it is Cleveland Cobras football here on this afternoon on what's going to be a very warm day here. And as opposed to maybe a hockey rink, it's going to be a little bit warmer today, and these guys are going to have to adjust for the water breaks.
Oh yeah, most definitely. These are the fun games that you get to play, especially as a hockey player. You play so many different teams around the state that this is just one of those games the Cobras can go out just play ball. So they don't know much about this team. There's nothing to overthink. There's nothing personal to take. They can just go out and play, hopefully, a reset new brand of football as they get out of the skid that they've been in.
Now the Cobras 0-3 coming in this week, looking for some answers, as they will be home for the third time in 4 weeks. Last week, they were in Akron over at InfoCision Stadium. Beautiful facility over there. However, the Cobras come up short against the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids, their second of 2 games in the division for the PAFL. They'll be looking to put some things together here. We'll have some changes here on the offense. However, C.J. Hale will start at quarterback for the Cobras. The young man started last week, however, ran into a few bumps, was replaced by T.J. Johnson and ultimately Dave Slap Thompson. However, he's going to get the start today. Saw some good things from him, and then we're looking forward to his progression. Again, rushed things a little bit last week, maybe calms down a little bit here. Some great athletic ability could be a big piece for the Cobras.
Oh, yeah, especially when you're playing a team like this. They got to have a fast start, and when you start with a great run game, you start to open up into the play actions. Then you start moving the linebackers there. The team frees them, open up the plays. So as long as C.J. Hill stays active in the pocket, gets out there when he needs to, makes plays, the Cobras should have a fun time out there today.
Take a look at the standings here. It'll be the Steel City Bobcats. Of course, they were just playing over on Western Reserve Radio 2 with Mark Means, Dave Clark, Dave Ferris. And they were in an overtime game with the Youngstown Patricians. The Youngstown Patricians come up short in that one, and the Steel City Bobcats, they come away with the 14-7 win in double overtime. Great performance by the Patricians and a win on the road for the Steel City Bobcats. And we know going on the road, it's always tougher to win, so it's a quality win for Steel City as well.
Oh, for sure, but coming from the Patrician side, that's a game that stings, but, coming away from it, they're heading into the month of July. They should have the utmost confidence going on the road in the second half of the season.
Yeah, certainly a lot of positive takeaway for the Youngstown Patrician. Again, they fall in double overtime by a score of 14-7. Games from around the PAFL on this Saturday evening. The Tri-County Rams taking on the Beaver County Arctic Bengals. The Steel City Bobcats, of course, headed over to North Jackson to take on the Youngstown Patricians. We just talked about that. The Glass City Tigers and the Michigan Hurricanes will get together. The Mid-Ohio Patriots will take on the Ohio Broncos. The Erie Express will head to Cleveland to take on the Rams. And the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids will head down to West Virginia to take on the Leviathan. We're going to step aside for our first break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the Flag City Phantoms. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back on the other side.
Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to clevelandcobrasfootball.com, Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, Now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows, as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on Western Reserve Radio. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio or on Twitter at WR_radio.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Pre-game show continues here from Lakewood, Ohio, as we get ready for the Cobras and the Phantoms. Take a look at the visiting team here as they come in from the Players Football Association. Dave Duncan, commissioner. Of course, we are familiar with Dave Duncan as a former Cleveland Cobra as well. And the Phantoms this year, 5 PAFL teams on their schedule for the regular PAFA season. Their season started back on May 3rd, so they were just about a month ahead of the PAFL. For the Phantoms, they would take on the Cincinnati Hawks to start. They would take the 20-14 loss, followed by the Ohio Broncos. They would lose that one 7-0. They would take on the Racine Raiders. Raiders would come out to Findlay to visit the Phantoms, and the Phantoms would take the 16-0 loss to one of the top teams in the country. The Glass City Tigers would be the victim of the Phantoms. They would take the 14-0 loss there, so they get one win on the PAFL. There was a forfeit from the Kalamazoo Titans, I believe. And then coming up here in June, the Phantoms would knock off the Portsmouth Lions down in Portsmouth, Ohio, 28-22, and they would lose to the West Virginia Leviathan last week, 13-0, maybe a game that was a little bit of a shocker for a lot of that, as the Phantoms putting together a decent season. They'll be led on the field by one of 3 quarterbacks coming up here. It'll be Donovan Larrabee, Tyrone Walker, or a name that we are familiar with, and Maurice Lovett, if we remember him from 2015 with the River City Ravens, the quarterback at the championship game there in Girard. So that will be interesting to see if he would start. Of course, we are familiar with him, great athlete, and we'll be looking forward to that today. Also, in the rushing game for the Phantoms, we'll keep an eye on R.J. McKinley, Marquise Graham, Tevin Redmond, and Eric Batiste. Not much rushing there for the Phantoms there. So we've seen some pregame warm-ups in that. Looks like some great receivers that run good routes, but they're running backs, 54 yards on the season, 65, 64. Looks like they're going to go through the air a lot.
And I think that's something the Cobras have probably looked at over the course of the week, as they need to understand the passing game and watching warm-ups. They're looking at the short game. A lot of the mesh concepts, whip routes on the outsides is what the Phantoms are strategizing there during warm-ups, and hopefully the Cobras come out and understand that and shut it down.
And the Phantoms playing in PAFL play 3-4 in the season. They started their season early as well, so they've got some time in as they work under head coach Demir Relford. We'll step aside for another timeout. We come back, we'll talk a little bit about the weather, maybe some uniforms here. Just about 4 minutes before kickoff from Lakewood. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back after this.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local events. Tune in and be part of their live weekly shows as well as the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the PAFL. Find them on westernreserveradio.com, tune in, and the Live 365 app to be part of the area's conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio or on Twitter at WR_radio.
Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
Accidents happen. That's why you need Repair That Glass. Specializing in windshield replacement and all other auto glass, we offer a full range of automotive glass repairs. Our technicians can do everything from minor chip repair to a complete replacement. Your windows don't go up or down, they can fix that too, along with custom glass work and antiques. Repair That Glass is a family-run business for over 40 years. Repair That Glass. Call for your appointment now at 330-534-3192.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Pre-game show continues here in Lakewood, Ohio, as we have the coin toss out at midfield. Take a look at the weather here, just in the upper 80s upon our arrival. And not a whole lot of clouds in the sky here. The story of the day is going to be the temperature, though. I assume there's going to be a few more hydration timeouts as we go through the evening here. But as the sun goes down, should become a little bit more tolerable. Heat warnings up for around the northeastern Ohio area. Flag City Phantoms, they are the visiting team. They'll come in their all-white uniforms, purple numbers outlined in orange. The purple helmets with the orange and white stripe down the side and the Phantom logo on each of the side. For the Cleveland Cobras, they are going to be in their black jerseys with the green numerals and the white pants, the black helmets with the stripe down the middle, and the traditional Cleveland Cobras logo. And a different combination here with the black over white. And we just had the coin toss here just a few minutes ago. And what were the results of that?
Well, it looks like the Phantoms won and deferred to the second half. So CJ Hale and the offense will come out and start for the Cobras.
There'll be a few name changes there on the offense. Of course, C.J. Hale, we've seen him over the last couple of weeks. Saw him against the Ohio Broncos. Had a couple of touchdown passes. Struggled a little bit last week there, but we'll be back in the driver's seat to start this week for the Cobras. And also on offense, we'll keep an eye on Albert Picorni. He'll be wearing 77 today. He will be on that offensive line. The brother of Ambrose Picorni plays on the defensive side, so we'll see if maybe some family help will improve maybe some of that work for the offense. As our officiating crew on the field, ready to go. Again, I want to thank you for joining us here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. Over on Western Reserve Radio 2 earlier, you heard the Youngstown Patricians and the Steel City Bobcats, that going into double overtime. And the Patricians falling in that one by a score of 14-7. However, Coach Dom Harris and crew have to be very happy with that performance and what we consider the Patricians a young team. Bobcats ranked number 1 in the league.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Especially just like having that loss on home field. It stings a little bit, but the way a first-year team's coming out and competing to get one-score games, very close, a couple wins under their belts to start the year. They should have a lot of confidence as they hit the road in league play before the playoffs.
Team president and CEO John Galbraith got to be very happy as well. We'll talk to him this week, I'm sure, as Mark Means will do the pregame interviews as they will head to InfoCision Stadium next week, I believe, to take on the Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. I'm going to call them the Falls Rapids. It's a lot easier that way. But we have the Cobras and the Phantoms, and I've asked already how long is it going to take before I say the Youngstown Phantoms. Of course, the USHL's hockey team that we carry for about 7 or 8 months out of the year. So I believe that's probably going to slip at some point.
Oh, yeah, not to mention their color schemes is just the exact same. So purple and orange, Youngstown and Flag City. Is that right? Flag City?
We will give them credit for great taste in colors and logos. Of course, the Youngstown Phantoms. You can hear right here on the iMedia One network with the voice of the Phantoms, Matt Lipsack. They are on their summer break as they get ready for main camp. And, of course, the Dump and Chase podcast will be coming back here with the main camp coming up. Sam Olmstead and crew will be covering that as we get ready for next season. However, we get ready for PAFL football interleague matchup. As Cody Brown will come out to kick this one off for the Flag City Phantoms. 2 returners back for Cleveland. One's got his jersey up under his shoulder pad, so I believe that's going to be picked up on the near side. Devin Tuff trying to work to the inside, trying to find some room to run, and he'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The Cobras will take over 1st and 10, brought down by Marquise Jones on special teams.
Oh, yeah, there's some heavy hitting there. The Phantoms kind of came out and set the tone there on the kickoff there. A couple of helmets cracking you can hear up from the press box. So, obviously, they're here ready to play.
Cobras will have the ball 1st and 10. They'll mark this right at the 30-yard line. Again, Heat, the story of the day here. As the Cobras from the huddle. We'll go twin receivers to the near side. That'll be Marvin Germany, Matt Wise. Single receiver to the far side. I'll go 2 running backs in the backfield. They'll go max protection for quarterback C.J. Hale. T.J. Johnson back there as well. He'll be the wing now to the right. So a little bit of a delay here. 14:54 here. If you're just joining us here in Lakewood. As Hale now in the shotgun. Going to roll out to the near side. Call his own number and bring the ball out near the 35-yard line. Pick up a 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 now for Cleveland.
And I think that's the proper play to start off the game with, getting Hale active there in the pocket, giving him a run to start off. And not a bad game. If you keep getting chunk plays like 4 or 5 yards on the runs, you're going to wear down this defense.
That off the right side. C.J. Hale getting the start for Cleveland. So Hale in the shotgun. You'll have Johnson to his left, running back to his right. Twin receivers to the near side. Single receiver out to the far side. Cobras moving left to right if you're listening in on our Live 365 app or on TuneIn. A read and a run off the right side. And it's going to be T.J. Johnson making it to the 40-yard line. Looks like he's going to be just short at the 39. It'll bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Cleveland Cobras.
And this is the exact start that the Cobras are looking for. 2 run plays. 9 yards combined on both plays. That's a perfect way to start and open up your playbook.
So 3rd and 1 for Cleveland. Hale waiting for the snap. Stacked receivers to the left side. Handoff to the outside, trying to make his way forward and across the 40, out to the 41-yard line. Should be enough for a Cleveland Cobra 1st down.
And they seem to be active there in the backfield in terms of, staying in that twin set, but they're working both sides off the runs on back-to-back plays.
I believe that was going to be DeAndre Thompson handing on the run off the left side for Cleveland. As Hale now back in the shotgun, he'll approach the line, make a few adjustments. Twin receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side. 13:05 here, clock continuing to run. Send one more running back out to the far side. Receivers 2 by 2 now. Hale firing out to the near side. Germany on the catch at the 46-yard line. Excuse me, at the 44. And C.J. Hale gets his first completion on his first attempt for the day, and a nice confidence builder.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't have to overcomplicate it on your first pass play. Something short like that, just to get the wide receivers active is a perfect way to start.
Got his feet set. He'll get the ball out to the 45-yard line. Second and, well, we're going to call it 2nd and 6 as our official tries to get the chain crew set. Hard to tell here. Nonetheless, ball at the Cobra 45-yard line. Approaching the 12-minute mark of the first quarter here. Hale in the shotgun. Receivers 2 by 2. Hale taking the ball himself on the read, trying to find a corner. Cuts back in, is going to go down at the 43-yard line. Loss of a yard on the play, maybe 2. And for Hale, again, maybe a little bit conservative on that. Went down. With 11:52 left here in the first quarter. We are scoreless again over on Western Reserve Radio 2. You missed a good one if you didn't get to hear it today. The Patricians and the Bobcats get together. Steel City, they get the 14-7 win in double overtime. It was a 0-0 game going in overtime. So great effort by both teams. You got your money's worth. As Devin Tufts will be the single receiver to the far side. 3 receivers to the near side. Matt Wise will be the outside receiver as the Cobras move left to right. Back to pass is Hale, looking out to his right, fires, and going to be right off the fingertips of T.J. Johnson. Incomplete, and that'll bring up a 3rd down now for Cleveland.
And that's kind of what we saw when they went on the road to take on the Broncos. They started off well, but, having a drive like that stall on a couple negative plays, that's not the way you want your first drive to end.
Well, I apologize. 4th down coming up here as Jeff Cooper Ryder, a former Toledo Rocket, will come on to punt this one away. It'll be Marquise Jones and Naz Neal back to return for the Phantoms. More still at their long snapper for the Cobras. As the clock ticks down, high snap. He'll bring it down and get this one away. It'll be a nice punt. It'll land at the 14-yard line, roll near the end zone and into the end zone. And the Phantoms will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And I believe that was going to be Tamir Stevens on the coverage on the punt team.
That was almost dangerous there for the Phantoms. They were kind of close to touching that right in their own end zone. So, and they also had 3 deep back there on the punt team. So maybe that's a strategy they came up over the week against the Cobra special teams.
Kind of unique. We don't see a whole lot of three returners back there on the punt, as Cobras will be on defense for the first time today. Excuse me, college rules here. My apologies. So it's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. As the Phantoms will go twin receivers to each side. It'll be Maurice Lovett getting the start at quarterback for the Phantoms. He'll hand this one off straight up the middle. Contact by Ambrose Picorni, and he's going to be brought down. He and Matt Federer getting in there. May have picked up a yard on the play. A couple yards maybe. Hard to tell from this angle.
That was great pursuit there off the edge there from the Cobras there to shut that down as he was coming up the middle there through the line.
R.J. McKinley, the running back for the Phantoms. A rather stout young man, to say the least. 2nd down now for the Phantoms. Lovett in a shotgun. He'll hand it off again up the middle. Contact with Matt Federer. And he'll get down to the 31-yard line, maybe the 32. And it'll bring up 3rd down and short now for the Phantoms.
Yeah, that's a big boy back there for the Phantoms there. That was great contact there in the middle there between the two there. That was an awesome play of physicality right there.
Matt Federer coming in. 2nd play in a row, making contact. As Lovett now in the shotgun. McKinley to his right. 3 receivers now to the near side. Phantoms moving right to left on your devices. Again, hand off to McKinley. McKinley fighting his way through. And he'll trip past the 35, drive his legs, and work his way down to the 38-yard line. That'll be enough for a Phantoms 1st down.
And both teams are kind of starting off the same way. First 3 plays of each drive all being run plays, resulting in 1st down. So this is kind of what you're going to see between teams that don't meet with each other a lot of feeling out, a lot of basic football you're going to see in the beginning.
Well, actually, you're going to see, yep, that's going to be a first down here. Our chain crew kind of flipping the numbers around as Love It now. We'll give a few extra instructions there at the line. Running back onto the field for the Phantoms. Movement up front, and we're going to get a flag here, a false start coming up against Flag City. That moving back 5. First and 15. Now for Flag City. Marquise Graham in the backfield now for the visiting team, who are wearing all white. Probably a little bit helpful in this weather with that sun beating down and again just warm air here. The 3 receivers to the near side. Mikey Love will be the outside receiver. He'll be one-on-one with Kev Fortson. Nico St. Clair moving into the slot for coverage. Love it. With Graham to his right, back to pass, fires. That's going to be caught out near midfield. He'll get out to the 40, and he's got one man to beat. It'll be brought down, balls on the field. It's going to be picked up by Cleveland, and they'll get the turnover at the 30-yard line. Cobras with the first turnover of the game. We'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 30. 7:45 left here first quarter, and after a big play by the Phantoms, Cleveland sticking with it, reaches in for the strip.
Talk about a sequence of events there. And that route from 16, that was the exact same route they were running in warm-ups there. It was a great, perfectly ran route, caught, open field, you got to take care of the football, and that's what happens when you don't. Great punch out there and recovery, and the Cobras are in business here. They got to capitalize on it.
7:45 left here, first quarter, on a warm Saturday afternoon here in Lakewood, Ohio. Scores from around the PAFL. Last we heard, the Cleveland Rams up 32-0 on the Erie Express. As the Cobras now will send a single receiver to the far side. Thompson in Germany to the near side. Will go 2 running backs in the backfield. Hale in the shotgun. 7:45 remaining here, first frame. They'll send Johnson out to the right of Hale. 3 receivers now to the near side. One-on-one to the backside, back to pass, plants his feet, fires down the sideline, looking for it. It's going to be overthrown. Matt Wise, the intended receiver, but ran out of real estate. Ball will sail out of bounds.
That's not a bad play to start off the drive, but we saw that one in the past couple of games with Hale, kind of put a little too much juice under it and overthrowing a couple guys that could be big plays.
Yeah, we saw him against the Ohio Broncos. Thought he had a good day there. Had a couple of touchdowns, came in, sparked the offense. As we'll go back to the single receiver formation. That'll be Wise out to the far side. Germany now moving from the right side to the left side. So pistol formation there. Johnson the tailback. Handoff up the middle. The Cobras will bring this one out near the 34-yard line. Depends on where they're going to give him the spot. The clock will continue to run. 6:56 left here in the first quarter.
And it looks like they're going to hurry up here. They're trying to push the tempo here on the third down, maybe catch the Phantoms defense off guard.
So D'Angelo Thompson, the single receiver to the near side. Again, they'll go with 2 running backs, twin receivers to the far side. That'll be Wise in Germany. T.J. Johnson now going to spread out to the right. Receivers 2 by 2. Hale in the shotgun. He'll plant his feet. Looking out to his right under pressure. Going to create some time with his feet and just dump it over to the sideline. He'll throw that one away. And a improved decision-making process there for Hale. This time he lives for another play.
That was great blocking there from the pursuit, from the blind side there on Hale by the running backs in the backfield, but just nobody was open downfield for him to pass to, and had to dump it off, and now they're going to come out and punt once again.
Jeff Cooper Ryder coming on for the punting duties for Cleveland. Are the officials marking off a penalty? Did we miss something? And so 3rd and 1 now. I don't know if anybody saw a flag but nonetheless,
It's now 3rd and 1 for Cleveland. All right, so interestingly enough, 6:22 left here. They'll give this one to Johnson. Johnson trying to spin off, runs in all kinds of traffic, nowhere to go. No gain on the play, and Cleveland will have to punt this one away. 4th down for the Cobras. Six minutes left here, first quarter, fast-moving quarter. Of course, we had the game earlier with the Patricians and the Bobcats, and talk about a fast game there. Played the first half in just 54 minutes. As Jeff Cooper Ryder will come on. 20. So Neal and Jones back to return for the Phantoms. Angelo Thompson going to come in on the punt team. Snap is back. Cooper Ryder going to get this one away. Had a little bit of pressure. End over end kick going to hit at the 30. And it will bounce its way to the 28-yard line and out of bounds. 5:16 left here, first quarter. And the Phantoms will get the ball for the second time to start this game. No score here in Lakewood. Cobras looking for their first win. Phantoms on the road. 3-4 coming in from the Players Football Association there. Of course, we talked about Dave Duncan, the commissioner there. Jermaine Campbell, the commissioner for the PAFL. Saw some good work between those two this week, collaborating on some things, trying to improve this level of football, so congratulations to them. As Lovett will now bring out the Phantoms offense. We'll have Marquise Graham in the backfield, three receivers to the left of Lovett. 5:16 left here, first quarter, no score. Maurice Lovett, a wily veteran from around here. He'll hand this ball on the ground. It's going to go down, and I believe Lovett's going to cover this one up. It'll be a loss of yards on the play, but they'll get this ball back at the 21-yard line. Some miscommunication on the handoff, and Phantom smartly just fall on it.
Oh, as a coach there, that's something that makes your heart drop right there. You never want to see a bobbled handoff there, especially deep in your own territory.
Now, it looked like it might have been a read in the back that just went wrong. But either way you slice it, ball ended up on the turf, and the Phantoms will recover this one. It'll be second down now, ball at the 21-yard line. Lovett in the shotgun. Graham to his right, three receivers to the near side. Lovett with the cadence, back to pass, three-step drop, looking out to his left, fires, caught, and going to be brought down near the 26-yard line. Pick up a 5, and it'll bring up third down now for the Phantoms.
And that first play of the drive, now you can start to see the effects of it. You know, it's kind of came back to hurt them, as now they have a 3rd and long when they could have maybe had a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 kind of scenario.
Osneal on the reception for the Phantoms. They'll mark the ball to 27. They're going to have to get to the 35 for a first down. Clock continues to run. 3:50 left here in this first frame. Joe Barrico, Albert Picorni, and Ambrose Picorni. The front out there, as well as Robert Littlejohn off the edge as Lovett now making some adjustments. One running back to his left. Three receivers to his right this time. Graham remains in the backfield. Back to pass is Lovett under pressure. And it was Albert Picorni almost had him, and now he's going to be cleaned up by Ambrose Picorni. Also in there is Carmen. So some pressure finally on Maurice Lovett. And that'll bring up fourth down now for the Phantoms.
And both teams are, they're struggling here on offense. No team has been able to cross the 50 yet. They're having their flashes, both teams on offense, but all the drives are stalling so far.
Yeah, the one big play the Phantoms had, they coughed the ball up as they'll mark it at the 29-yard line. They'll have to get to the 35. 4th and 6. As I believe this is going to be the punter coming onto the field. Marquise Jones looks like he's going to do the punting duties. Juwan Phillips, the long snapper for the visiting team.
One returner back for Cleveland, who sees fit to put his jersey up under his shoulder pads. A little hard to see there, guy. Decent snap coming back. He'll get this one away. It's going to be high, short, off the side of his foot. It'll land at the 43-yard line, take a Cleveland bounce, and go out of bounds at the 42-yard line. And the Cobras will take over 1st and 10 in plus territory for the first time today. 2:10 left here in the first quarter. And Cleveland with a nice field position to set up for the offense.
And again, this has been, kind of a weakness and a flaw here. They get their opportunities and they haven't cashed in. They got to cash in here in the first quarter and put some points up on the board.
So 1st and 10, they're actually going to mark it at the 41-yard line. Cleveland in the huddle. D'Angelo Thompson bringing this play in from the sideline. Again, C.J. Hale at the quarterback position, getting the start again this week. So Hale and Johnson in the backfield. They'll go 3 receivers to the short side. That'll be to the left of Hale. Matt Wise, single receiver, one-on-one to the right. Hale back to pass, plenty of time, directing traffic, rolling back to the far side. He's going to take it himself past the 40 and get knocked out of bounds near the 37-yard line. The flag will come out, and it'll be a late hit on the Cleveland quarterback. Add 15 onto that, and the Cobras are in business.
And that's exactly what we were talking about in the pregame show, getting Hale active with the play actions, and nothing opened up, but allowing the receivers to go downfield and push the defense back, allowed him to take the ball up and get a couple yards and then draw that flag.
So Hale on the run, takes the penalty, and they are going to move this ball all the way down to the 23-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Cleveland on the plus side of the field. 2 minutes left here, first quarter. We are scoreless. As Matt Wise again will be one-on-one to the near side. Hale in the shotgun. Johnson to his left. 3 receivers to the far side. DeAndre Pope one-on-one with Wise. They'll hand this one off to Johnson. Johnson going to run into a wall, nowhere to go. He'll lose a couple of yards. And it'll bring up 2nd down for Cleveland.
And what I'm seeing from the fans here is they're starting to stack one side of the edge on defense, and it seems like consistently it's starting to be on the right side of the line here. They're starting to stack 1, maybe 2 guys off the end, and they're pursuing from the backside.
That's a good point. They're collapsing it from the far side. Can only block so many people on that side, so you got to get away from them. But nonetheless, they'll mark the ball at the 26-yard line. 2nd down now for Cleveland. Under a minute to play here, first quarter. Hale in the shotgun. Johnson is right. 3 receivers to the far side. They'll give it to Johnson off the left side, and he's going to be tracked down. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage at best. Cody Brown getting into the backfield. As I'll mark the ball at the 26 again. So 3rd down now for Cleveland. Under 30 seconds to play here, first quarter. Might be able to get one more play off here. 3 receivers to the far side. Nate Serby back and forth, but he'll remain the inside receiver to the left of Hale. Matt Wise, again the single receiver to the near side. Hale back to pass. Rolling out to the near side. He's going to dump it over there. It's going to be caught at the 25-yard line. Flag on the play, and I believe we're going to have a hold. That play looks like it's going to come back. A nice play by C.J. Hale, but that is coming back on the hold as he just dumped it out into the flats. DeAndre Thompson on the reception. Had the first down, but Phantoms will happily take that penalty. And get some good improvisation by the Cobra quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's where you start to see some of his athleticism come into play here as we end the first quarter here.
And a 1 here in Lakewood. We are scoreless. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back after this.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
After 1, we are scoreless here in Lakewood. We'll flip sides of the field as we will have a 3rd down coming up for the Cobras. Of course, I want to remind you, coming up here in the not too distant future, if you think about it, coming up here in August, high school football back here on the iMedia One Network. Mark Means, Dave Clark. Of course, the coach, Bob Gessler, and I will be on there as well. I'll be working with Sports Radio 1240 and WRQX AM 600 as well as we get the ball set on the right hash mark. Twin receivers to the near side. That'll be Tufts and Wise. DeAndre Thompson in the backfield with C.J. Hale. Twin receivers out to the far side. That'll be Thompson in Germany. Waiting for the officials' whistle as we get the second quarter underway here. As for some reason we got a delay here. Trying to get the chain crew set. 3rd and long. Cleveland will have to get to the 11-yard line for a 1st down. Hale on the shotgun. DeAndre Thompson to his left. Receivers 2 by 2. Hale with the snap. 3-step drop. Looking out to his left. Trying to create some time. Fires out into the, and we're going to have a flag, but Hale dumped this into the flats. Nobody was out there. We'll see what they're going to call here. The flag came from the umpire. So they probably could have called the holding or the intentional grounding. Nobody out there. So after Cleveland gets great field position, they head in the wrong direction. So the officials going to get together here and kind of discuss this, but saw a couple options there if they want to call a penalty.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And this is something, you know, as a Cobras player, you don't want to have happen. You're in decent field position. If you take a flag now, you might possibly take yourself out of field goal range to put some points on the board.
And I believe they're going to throw the flag for the intentional grounding. So the holding is going to be declined. They're going to take the intentional grounding, as that will also be a loss of down. Officials talking to head coach Demir Relford from the Flag City Phantoms. 14:55 left here, second quarter. And Cooper Ryder will come on to punt this one away. They'll try to pin the Phantoms back. As Marquise Jones, he will set up right around his own 5-yard line. Nas Neal back there as well. So Cooper Ryder going to be punting this one right around the midfield stripe. Taylor, Germany, and Littlejohn back there as protectors for Cooper Ryder. 14:30 left. He'll get the snap away. High kick. And it'll be not fielded. It'll head into the end zone. And the Phantoms will take over first and 10. 14-23 left here, second quarter. We are scoreless after the Cleveland Cobra drive stalls out. Cobra's the beneficiary of a personal foul. Couldn't capitalize on it.
And after all that work from the Cobras offense, it resulted in 0 yards on that drive.
So a net gain of 0 for Cleveland. Of course, the Phantoms not much better. Again, their big play of the game called back, or excuse me, turned the ball over. Since then, it's been a stalemate between these two. So the Phantoms have the ball first and 10 at their own 25-yard line. 14-23 left here, second quarter. Love it. In the shotgun. Now hand it off straight up the middle. Plenty of room to run. Out past the 35. Out 40. 45. He'll fight his way down near the 47. That'll be a big gain for the Phantoms. It'll be a first down. That's going to be Tevin Redmond on the carry for the Phantoms.
And as you can start to see the versatility from the Phantoms there with Redmond now in the backfield there. He hit that hole right in the middle and just took off, and you can see the size in the backfield too as he was able to take some guys down with them on the contact.
16 carries for 64 yards coming into today. 13:52 left. Second quarter, Love it in the shotgun. Receivers 2 by 2. They'll send a man in motion from left to right. Again, the handoff straight up the middle. Contact made, and it'll be Carmen with the initial contact. Tried to strip the ball away, but he'll get out to the 50-yard line. Pick up a 3 for the Phantoms. It'll be 2nd and 7 now for Flag City. Of course, things a little bit different this week as the Phantoms are on what would traditionally be the home side. Cobras on the away side. As Joe Barrico, he will take a breather.
And the Phantoms are finally in the plus territory for the first time.
Well, Phantoms cross the 50-yard line as Love it goes over the plays in the backfield here. He'll take his time, the veteran in no rush. McKinley in the backfield as well. Love it, going to take a timeout. 12:45 left here, second quarter. We are scoreless. We'll step aside for a quick break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back after this.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the OHSAA and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The stations that always keep you in the zone.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
12:45 left here, second quarter, after the Phantom timeout. Second down now at the Cleveland 49-yard line. Love it in the shotgun. Kenley to his right. Maurice Lovett making some adjustments there at the line as they'll pitch this one out to the far side. And a cutback past the 50. Robert Littlejohn with the initial contact will bring him down near the 44. And he's going to be about 2 yards short of a first down. Clock will continue to run here with 12:25 left. Tevin Redmond on the carry. Got a little confused between 6 and 8 there. As we'll have a delay for whatever reason. Phantoms, though, coming out of the huddle. Osneal, single receiver to the far side this time. Twin receivers to the near side.
Sean Brown. Counter handoff. Contact made in the backfield. McKinley's going to fight his way out. And he may have picked up a yard on the play. We have a flag. Flags are coming from both sides. This side is going to be for the Phantoms. It's going to be a sideline warning, I believe. But from the far side, the line judge, as we're going to have a sideline warning against the Phantoms. Now, there was a flag coming in from the line judge on the far side as well. So I don't know if it was just a sympathy flag or, you know, you throw one, I throw one. All right, clock stopped with 11:46 left. And the clock should begin to run. There we go, as the Phantoms will have the ball at the 43. McKinley and Redmond in the backfield now with Lovett. They'll be flanked to each hip. Twin receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side. Lovett with the clap. And we're going to get a flag. False start coming up against Flag City. That'll kick them back 5. So instead of 4th and 3, they're going to be 4th and 8. McKinley will make his way to the sideline. And it looks like Phantoms will try to punt this one away maybe. Well, actually, Lovett's going to stay on the field. All right, so the Phantoms feeling pretty comfortable about this. They'll go 3 receivers to the far side. Lovett in the shotgun. Aaron Sanders, the listed tight end, single receiver to the near side. He'll be one-on-one with Quay Harris. Back to passes, Lovett firing it. He's got a man wide open. Caught at the 20 and into the end zone for the Phantoms touchdown. 43-yard touchdown pass. From Lovett to Shandon Morris. Phantoms take a 6-0 lead. And I thought Cobras were going to take that timeout. Apparently did not. And I believe we're going to. No. All right. So it looks like they're going to take them down. Usually if we kick an extra point to the right, they will flip it to the left so it doesn't go into somebody's bedroom. But seems like the officials are willing to take that chance.
They got netting. Unless
the Phantoms are going to go for 2. So 10:45 left here, second quarter. Phantoms take a 6-0 lead. A 43-yard touchdown pass from Lovett to Morris. And after a delay, it looks like they're going to go for 2. All right, so Lovett would have, looks like Redmond to his right. And maybe Tyrone Walker in the backfield as they will send off Aaron Sanders. And we have a flag on the play. I believe it's going to be a delay of game. 10:45 left here. Okay, so they can't, apparently the Phantoms having trouble counting to 11. That'll frustrate a coach. So again, the Phantoms will try this with 10:45 left with the 6-0 lead. Coming up, we'll try to get you some scores from around the football scene today. Love it. With the pitch out to the far side, or to the near side. Trying to get to the inside, and he'll get into the end zone. Phantoms will get the 2-pointer with 10:45 left here. And the Phantoms take a
8-0 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to clevelandcobrasfootball.com, a Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football. White line to white line. .10:45 left here, second quarter. Phantoms take an 8-0 lead by way of a 43-yard touchdown pass from Lovett to Morris. They get the 2-point conversion. Cody Brown to come out for the kickoff. Devin Tufts back to return for Cleveland. He's been kind of quiet the first part of this game. Left-footed kicker here down the center of the field. It'll be picked up inside the 25-yard line, brought out to the 30, 40. A little bit of room to work. I believe that's going to be Tamir Stevens dropping his shoulder, getting past the 45 down near the 44-yard line. And the Cobras get on the plus side of the field. They respond after going down 8-0.
And here's another opportunity once again for them. They start in plus territory. They have a chance to execute and hopefully come out here with a touchdown as they're down 8-0.
A lot of time left here, first half, 10:36 on the clock. Well, they trail 8-0. So a great return by Cleveland, puts the ball at the Phantom 43-yard line. So twin receivers to the near side. That'll be Tufts and Thompson. Single receiver to the far side. They'll hand this one off and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Rashawn Brown working his way right down behind the offensive line, wrapping him up. Read that beautifully. Didn't get too deep in the backfield and was able to bring down the runner. It'll be a loss of 1, so 2nd and 11 now for Cleveland. 10:15 left here in the second quarter.
And TJ Johnson needs to definitely get his feet moving. He's stuttering too much in the backfield, and he's losing speed coming off of it, and that's resulting in a loss of yardage.
Hale in the shotgun, back to pass, looking out to his left, fires out. D'Angelo Thompson on the catch. Got a flag on the play, out to the 40. And he'll be brought down near the 25-yard line, but hold the phones. There's a flag on the play, and believe this will most likely be a hold, which will eliminate a great play by Cleveland. D'Angelo Thompson on the run after catch, but it'll be wiped out by the flag.
And that's another play that you need right there. There's a great 18-yard pickup there on the pass, and staying undisciplined and taking penalties like that is not going to help you put points on the board.
So Cleveland back to the line. Single receiver to the far side this time. Twin receivers to the near side. Devin Tufts will be the outside receiver. TJ Johnson to the left of CJ Hale. They'll have to get to the 33-yard line. Back to pass, fires out. It's going to be caught near the 44-yard line, so they get a chunk of the yardage back. But they will have to get to the Phantom 34-yard line for a first down. 9:18 left here, second quarter.
Now you're back at the original line of scrimmage here. So now you set yourself up on a 3rd and 10. They're working the pass game in the medium range here. So hopefully you can pull off maybe another slant or maybe a mesh here to gain some yardage.
So Hale now going to flip Johnson from his left side to his right side. Twin receivers to the near side. Single receiver near the Cobra sideline. Back to pass. Fires over again. Devin Tufts going to drop this one right into his hand. Great pass by Hale. Tufts
just couldn't bring it in. Clock will stop with 8:52 left here in the second quarter. 4th down coming up for Cleveland. Cooper Ryder will come on to punt this one away.
And they went back to the slam routes there on back-to-back plays, and it was perfectly executed. Just you got to catch the football on that. That could have been a drive-changing play right there and could have picked up a new set of downs.
All right, so the Phantoms will set up the return team. It'll be Jones posting up right around the 9-yard line. As looks like the Phantoms are going to take a timeout. And might have had some trouble with the personnel again. So 8:37 left here, second quarter. Phantoms take their second timeout. We'll step aside for a quick break. You are listening to PAFL Football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Cooper Ryder with the snap. He'll get this one away. A high kick. And over end. It'll be fielded just inside the 15-yard line. Immediately brought down. And that's where the Phantoms will take over 1st and 10 with 8:29 left here in the second quarter. So Cooper Ryder able to flip sides of the field for the Cobras. And it'll be up to the Cobra defense now to try to put something together here. Plenty of time here left in the first half, just about 8.5 minutes. We are scoreless, much like our game earlier over on Western Reserve Radio 2. It went 4 quarters, no score. Or excuse me, 8-0 here, but we'll get it right. Patricians, they fall in double overtime today, 14-7. Everybody getting their money's worth out there at in North Jackson. After no score the entire game, we get 3 touchdowns and 2 overtimes.
Hopefully no field goals were kicked there into the woods over there. Not a lot of touchdowns.
Try to recover some of your players from out there. I think we're still missing a few Springfield freshmen. Let's love it now in the shotgun. On the read, contact in the backfield. Trying to figure out, that was Nollings that shot out of a cannon. Came through the offensive line like nobody was there. Kinley going to go down on the run. They'll mark the ball near the 10-yard line. So a great read by Durante Nolling.
And that's a play you need to get the sideline fired up there. That was a complete juice play there for the Cobras. You know, establishing that physicality to hopefully rile up the guys around them.
Marquise Graham in the backfield with Lovett. Single receiver to the far side. 3 receivers to the narrow side here. Not a lot of room to work for the receivers here. Lovett back to pass. 5-step drop. Fires out to his right. And it's going to be caught. And then down at the 15-yard line. After a bobbled pass, Caleb Foltz was able to bring that one in for the Phantoms. $7:10 left here, second quarter. Phantoms with an 8-0 lead. Sun's starting to set here out to our left. So we'll get a little glare on the camera if you're looking in on it and on Facebook or on YouTube. Love it. And the shotgun. Graham to his right. 3 receivers to the far side now. Phantoms moving left to right. Back to pass. 5-step drop. Lovett fires. This one's going to be caught at the 30 and down at the 35-yard line. Foltz on the reception that time. He brought that one in and oddly enough went straight to the ground.
So first down for the Phantoms, 6:35 left here. We'll get some whistles. And I believe Cleveland is going to take a timeout. 6:34 left here in the second quarter. Cobras trail by a score of 8-0. We'll step aside for a break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio. We're back after this.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Back out of the timeout now. Phantoms with a 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. 6:34 left here, second quarter. Flag City with an 8-0 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. Lovett in the shotgun. Twin receivers to each side now. A little tighter on to the right of Lovett. Graham in the backfield as well. They'll send Neal in motion from right to left. Handoff up the middle, cut back, and he'll get out to the 40, maybe out to the 41. Pick up a 6. That's going to be 2nd and 4 now for the Phantoms.
And now you're starting to see the Phantoms gain a little bit more confidence in themselves. They're starting to mix in the playbook here, mixture of deep plays, run plays, and it's really starting to pick apart the Cobras defense.
Well, they'll mark the ball at the 39. Clock continues to run here as we approach the 6-minute mark. Shandon Morris will be the inside receiver to the Twins on the far side. He had the only touchdown for the Phantoms. He'll go in motion from left to right. Handoff straight up the middle this time and brought down near the 44-yard line. Little John going to catch him and bring him down. They're going to mark it at the 43-yard line. Clock will continue to run here with 5:35 left in the second quarter. Phantoms going to the ground.
Yeah, and they're starting to use this middle run game here as the offensive line is opening up the holes in the middles, and they're just exploding right through it, and they're meeting the linebackers.
So Phantoms, kind of an unconventional huddle. Like the line kind of muddles around the ball. Lovett will give the instructions in the backfield. But twin receivers to each side now, 2 by 2, approaching the 5-minute mark. They'll send a man in motion from left to right. That'll be Morris. Lovett going to take it himself, call his own number. He'll get out past the midfield stripe and brought down at the 47-yard line. That'll be enough for a Phantoms first down with just under 5 minutes to play here in the first half.
Yeah, and this is not what you want to see if you're a Cobras fan right now. The defense is starting to wear down, and you might possibly have to start using a timeout here just to settle them down as they're using this mixture of run and pass, and it's picking them apart.
So the ball marked at the Cobra 47-yard line. Lovett in the shotgun. Twin receivers to the left. Have a wing to the right. Osney will be the single receiver. That'll hand it off. Contact in the backfield and throw it back to Lovett. Lovett looking downfield. And he'll be brought down finally on a improvised play. Deontay McDonald bringing him down here. So out of all of that, lost a yard on the play. But Lovett getting the pitch back from the running back as he went down.
And maybe that's what you need if you're the Cobras right now. Just sometimes you rather be lucky than good, and that's a negative play right there. And hopefully that can get the Cobras defense motivated enough to shut them down here.
Receivers 2 by 2. Lovett in the shotgun. And one running back to his right. They're going to send Neal in motion from right to left. Handoff up the middle. Plenty of room to run. Matt Federer going to hold on to him and try to ride him down near the 36-yard line.
That should be enough for a Phantom first down. Tyron Walker on the carry, listed as a defensive end, but working at the running back position today. Unless he's wearing somebody else's jersey, we know that never happens. Clock stopped with 3:21 left. They'll get the chain crew set.
And on this drive, you're starting to see just huge chunk plays, 5 yards, and then, that 20-yard pass, 4 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards.
Walker to the left of Levitt. Single receiver to the far side. 3 receivers to our near side here. Phantoms moving left to right if you're listening in on TuneIn or Live 365. Some movement up front, and there's going to be a flag. Ryan Moore getting the head start. Really the only time the offensive linemen really get any attention. But I will say, nice kick step, good footwork.
Right. And here again with the Cobras, another play right there that they need to capitalize on. Out to 1st and 15. They can be bend but not break here, and hopefully stop them.
Coming up on the 2:30 mark here in the first half. Levitt in the shotgun. Running back to his left, 3 receivers to our near side. Single receiver out near the Cobra sideline. Back to pass, 5-step drop. Levitt looking out to his right, under pressure. Picorni chasing him down. He's going to fire down in the corner, and it's going to go off the fingertips of Morris. Going to bring up second down now for the Phantoms after that extended play. Clock will stop with 2:16 left here in the half. And
looks like
told there's going to be a flag.
That's what the side judge was saying here.
Okay, I don't believe we saw the flag unless he dropped it in front of us.
There's a call right there.
And there it is from our official, holding coming up against the Phantoms. That'll push him back even further. See where they're going to mark the ball at. And just about 2:12 left here. This one's going to tick down to the 2-minute warning. So we will step aside for a timeout. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to clevelandcobrasfootball.com, Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia One Network, Youngstown, Ohio.
Coming out of the 2-minute warning here, watching Cobras trainer Beth Betancourt out there kind of hosing off the officials, trying to keep them cool.
That's the from Kent Akron, that's the old Coach Sean and Coach Johnny method. Pick up the pucks for the refs, hopefully get a call here or two, get a couple advantages.
Twin receivers to the far side, wing to the right, single receiver to the near side. Levitt in the shotgun, one running back to his right. 2 minutes left up here in the first half. It's Levitt rolling out to the near side, looking downfield, fires, and it's going to be dropped at the 32-yard line. Pass was intended for Naz Neal. Right in his hands, just couldn't bring it down.
If you're the Cobras defense right now, you got to stay disciplined here. They're starting to get caught out of position here when they're moving out of the pocket, and it's starting to open up some receivers downfield. They got to watch that.
Well, ball marked at the Phantom 49-yard line. 1:54 left in the first half. Clock stopped on the incomplete pass. Second down now. Phantoms will have to get to the 26-yard line, I believe, for the first down. After a series of backward plays for the Phantoms. As Lovett now calling some cadence at the line there. 3 receivers to the far side. Single receiver to the near side. Back to pass. Straight back. Fires out into the flats and incomplete. Pass was intended for Aaron Sanders. So third down now for the Phantoms with 1:50 left here. Depending on how this plays out, Cobras may be able to get a possession and put a drive together. I believe they got 2 timeouts left. So we'll mark the ball at the 45.
Even though it's a long third down, this is just as important as a 3rd and 1, as you can't give up any big plays right here, as you've been on the field for a number of plays now. You got to get off of it.
So ball marked at the 49-yard line on the Phantom side of the field. 1:50 left here, second quarter. Flag City with an 8-0 lead over the Cobras. That coming by way of a Lovett touchdown pass. He would hit Morris down the far sideline. Lovett in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the near side. They'll go wing to the right as well. Lovett rolling out to the near side, looking downfield, and he's under pressure. He's going to get bumped, but it's going to be caught, I believe, at the 11-yard line. Shandon Morris on the reception. I thought that Lovett's arm had gotten bumped, but even if it did, he got the ball down there. I believe they're going to mark this at the 11. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Phantoms. 1:41 left here in the half. As we have some officials with some discussion out here at midfield. Didn't see any flags, not sure what the issue would be.
And there is the whole third down thing right there, and it just as important as a 3rd and 1. They gave up a deep ball that went for 38 yards, and now he gave them a fresh set of downs with 1:41 and a chance to tack on another touchdown here.
Also, keep in mind the Phantoms won the coin toss, deferred to the second half, so they will get the possession after the break. So after some delay here, again, I'm not sure what the issue was. Lovett go back to the shotgun. Osney will be the single receiver to the far side. 200 receivers to the right side. He'll go wing to the right as well. That'll be Aaron Sanders, the listed tight end. Lovett with the snap. Now hand off to the far side. Contact in the backfield. Littlejohn gonna make him cut back to the inside. We'll get a flag. And that's in the area of holding. And indeed, it will be holding against the Phantoms. Another break for the Cobras. And we'll have 1:04 left here in this first half. So we'll see where they mark the ball at as they throw the flag back to the 24-yard line. So if it's from there, it should be right around the 34. Minute 4 left here as the clock will begin to run. Well, he gave the signal, but all right, so clock now running. We are at a minute. As Lovett. He'll be in the backfield, have Redmond to his right. Rolling out to the near side. Here's Lovett looking downfield, fires, and it's going to be caught near the 15-yard line and brought down near the 11. Might have gotten back near the original line of scrimmage. Lovett rolling out to this near side and finding his target.
And the Phantoms are going to take a timeout. 33 seconds left here in the first half. Phantoms with the timeout. We'll step aside for a break. You're listening to PAFL Football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stone, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Thirteen-play drive continues here with Graham to the left of Lovett in the shotgun. Twin receivers to the far side. Rolling out to the far side. Planting his feet. Now Ambrose Picorni in his way. He'll reset. Throws it down in the corner. And out of bounds with 25 seconds left in the half. And Lovett extending the play, but under plenty of pressure here. As they'll mark this ball third down now at the 11-yard line. So after the penalty, they get back to the original line of scrimmage. Lovett trying to create something, throwing back to the far corner.
This is a huge play for the Cobras defense. Another third and long. You have them at the 11. You only have 25 seconds left. There is really no sign of maybe a kicker here for the Phantoms, so you got to hold them here on these next two downs to get to the half, only down by one score.
R.J. McKinley and Marquise Graham in the backfield for the Flag City Phantoms. Nosney will be the single receiver to the far side. Lamar Hutchins to the right. And Cleveland takes their timeout with 25 seconds left here in the half. We'll step aside for a quick timeout. You're listening to PAFL Football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
Timeout. All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the OHSAA and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Third and 10 coming up from the Phantoms out of the timeout. Lovett in the shotgun. Graham to his left. Twin receivers to the far side. Twin receivers to the right of Lovett as well. Back to pass. He'll plant his feet. Fires out into the near corner. Going to overthrow his receiver. So fourth down 4. Flag City coming up. See the number that was intended for, but nonetheless, Cleveland's defense continuing to just hang in there.
Yeah, bend but don't break. And this play here, 21 seconds, 4th and 10, you know, they're on your 11. This is the biggest play of the game right now.
Kershaw was the intended receiver on that last play. Lamar Hutchins going to be the far left receiver, and Cleveland is going to take another timeout with 21 seconds left here. And we will take another break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
This is number 56, Antoine Peterson, known as Tony Sweets. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras Football on iMedia One Network.
th play of the Phantoms drive coming up here, 74 yards so far, as they will have the ball 4th and 10 at the 11-yard line. Love it. Getting in the shotgun, Graham to his left. Receivers 2x2 for Flag City. Love it, back to pass. Fires out in the middle. It's going to be caught into the end zone. Touchdown. Flag City, Lamar Hutchins on the 11-yard touchdown pass from Maurice Lovett. Gives the Phantoms a 14-0 lead over the Cobras going into the half. And again, we talked about the coin toss. Phantoms will have the ball to start the second half.
And that is a huge, just overall for team morale, it was just a huge sinker right there for the Cobras. Now, after the PAT, they're going to go down 2 possessions at the half. Defense is going to have to come back out and play defense to start the second half. So that touchdown could have just cost them a lot of hurt here in the future of this game.
Phantom's going to go for 2. R.J. McKinley in the backfield as well as Tyrone Walker. Hutchins and Morris, the receivers, to the right. Neal to the left. Now hand it off, and he'll twist and peel and will not get in. So the conversion, no good. 16 seconds left here to remain. 14-0 in favor of the Phantoms. And we're just a few seconds away from halftime here. Cobras will have to rebound. They'll have to figure some things out because they're going to be back on defense in that third quarter. Earlier you were able to see or watch, if you were looking at Facebook or YouTube, the Youngstown Patricians host the Steel City Bobcats. The Patricians, they fall to the Steel City Bobcats 14-7 in double overtime. They're in North Jackson, Ohio. Great game back and forth. Went into the overtime 0-0. So defensive game for 4 quarters. The half will try to get you some scores from around the football world. Last we heard, I believe the Rams end up with a 32-0 win over the Erie Express. Cleveland Rams. Very tough this year.
That last drive, 15 plays, 85 yards for the Phantoms.
Well, Cobras with some opportunities there. A lot of penalties to set the Phantoms back, just couldn't take advantage of it.
Too many. You had a 3rd and 2. There was a hold and a false start. You were at a 3rd and 25, and then you had a 1st and 20, and then a 4th and 10. And the Phantoms converted on all of them.
Cody Brown, the left-footed kicker for the Phantoms, will send this one down. It'll be a low kick, fielded at the 27-yard line, brought out to the 30. He'll spin, turn, pitch it back to Tamir Stevens. Ball onto turf, and it'll be covered up there. Tried to get somebody to do something here, but Tamir Stevens, fortunately, able to cover that up. It'll be Cleveland ball with just about 6 seconds left here in the half. And Cleveland trying a little bit of some trickeration there. Didn't go very well.
And I understood the idea, but you can't risk that returning the ball in your own territory with 6 seconds left to go. You're already down 2 scores.
6 seconds left here in the half. And C.J. Hale in the backfield with T.J. Johnson. So kind of tight here. They'll take a knee, and that will wind down the first half here in Lakewood. After 2, we go to the break with the Phantoms with a 14-0 lead. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back on the other side.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stone, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Awesome. Where were you, Jill? Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Just under 3 minutes before we kick off the second half here in Lakewood. The Flag City Phantoms with a 14-0 lead over the Cleveland Cobras at the break. After a scoreless first quarter, it would be Lovett to Morris on a 43-yard touchdown pass with 10:45 left in the second quarter. That would give the Phantoms an 8-0 lead. They would convert on the two-point conversion. And with 16 seconds left in the second quarter, Lovett would hit Hutchinson in the end zone for an 11-yard touchdown pass to give the Phantoms a 14-0 lead. And we talked about opportunities, plenty of opportunities on those drives, and the numbers not in favor of the Cobras.
No, way too many opportunities to stop them on third and fourth downs. Every single flag on that last Phantoms drive heading into the half were on the Phantoms. So the Cobras were gifted opportunities. They had third and 25, fourth and 10s, such long plays, and they keep giving up these chunk plays on the pass, and they just started to crumble there towards the end on that 15-play drive, and they got to come back out and play defense once again against the Phantoms to start the half.
Well, certainly we can say for sure that third down has been the Achilles heel for the Cleveland Cobras after some good starting field position and good special teams play, getting them on the plus side of the field. Couldn't really put anything together. But so far, C.J. Hale making some smart decisions right now. You see when he doesn't have anything, he'll throw the ball away, even go down without taking any hard hits. So, again, we see an improvement from the last time we saw him till today. But again, not able to connect with some of these receivers. They've had some opportunities, and certainly the run game has not been working for them either.
Yeah, and the first, everybody talks about, your first 10 plays, the script to start to get in. The first couple of plays for the Cobras, they were on point. Like, they came out, they established a run game. They got a couple of passes off, but you keep stalling drives, and, you know, after the first 10 plays happen, they just don't get anything going. You know, the last 2 drives to end that half, they gained a total of no yards. They have not gained a yard in, I don't even know how long.
Just about 30 seconds left here before we kick off the third quarter. Take a look at some scores from around the PAFL, ones that we could locate anyway. And right now it looks like the Rams get the 32-0 win over the Erie Express. The Ohio Broncos, they knock off the Mid-Ohio Patriots by a score of 36-12. And, of course, the game you heard on Western Reserve Radio 2 with Mark Means, Dave Clark, and Dave Ferris. The Steel City Bobcats get the 14-7 win in double overtime over the Youngstown Patricians. So an exciting game there, and the Cobras looking to put something together here as we get ready for second half action in Lakewood, Ohio. Coach Adam Rogerson actually working from the press box for a while here. He was back down with the team at the half, trying to get a look at some of the things that maybe he couldn't see so well from down on the field. We'll see if he's going to come back up for the second half, but interesting to listen here as the Phantoms bring on the kick return team. Cooper Ryder and the Cobra kickoff team will get set as well. 15 minutes up on the board as we get ready for second half action here on Western Reserve Radio. We'll tease it a little bit here. Got a pretty cool announcement coming up, a new feature for the iMedia One Network. We'll talk about that this week as we work out some of the details. So what has turned into a relatively nice night here. Sun going down. As Cooper Ryder will mark this ball at the 35-yard line. We'll get the kickoff team ready. Marquise Graham, one of the returners back for the Phantoms. I believe that's going to be Tevin Redmond, also back to return for Flag City. Cooper Ryder going to have to reset this one. Ball blew off the tee. We do have some wind up here. You can maybe actually hear it in our microphones as the windows here in the press box are open.
That classic Cleveland wind right there, right off of the lake. Cooper
Ryder on the approach, and we are underway here, third quarter. Redmond with the ball at the 10-yard line. He'll work his way back to the hash mark, cut back to the inside. He'll slip one tackle and be brought down at the 26, and that's where the Phantoms will start off. 1st and 10 here in the third quarter, and the Cleveland Cobra defense back on the field.
Yeah, and you're as a Cobras defensive player right now, you're hoping right now for like maybe a 3-and-out or, you know, maybe a short, maybe like 6-play drive or something, just to get off the field quickly and get that offense back on, because that offense has not been able to play since the beginning of the second quarter.
Yeah, you hope that halftime was long enough to get the acid out of those legs. As the Phantoms out of Findlay, Ohio.
Played them Kent Akron, you know, played them down in Columbus at the one tournament.
Yep, played down in that area. That is a hotbed for the hockey world.
Mm-hmm. Lots of fun teams, fun games. Lots of fun games played down there in the Columbus area.
All right, so Lovett back in the backfield. McKinley to his right. Twin receivers to the near side. Twin receivers to the far side. Ball on the ground, and it's going to be covered up by Joe Barrico. Turnover for the Cobras. They'll get the ball 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Durante Nolan came up with it. And the Cobras get that break they're looking for. Defense gets off the field. Offense with great field position to start. 14:49 here in the third quarter.
Well, you can ignore the 3-and-out and all that. Now you got a huge break on the first play of the half. You know, and now once again they're in plus territory for, you know, the third time in this game they're starting a drive in plus territory, and they're deep into it this time. They got to score on this drive.
Well, the Cobras from the offensive huddle We'll take over 1st and 10 there. I believe they're actually going to mark this at the 26. Either way you slice it, a good start for the Cobras here in the second half. Hale in the shotgun. Back to pass, fires down the sideline, has a man open, and it's going to be dropped at the 1-yard line. Matt Wise tried to reach up there and get it, got twisted and turned. Couldn't bring it in. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Cobras. A great opportunity, and you kind of feel like Wise is due here.
Oh, for sure. And that was a perfectly placed ball there by I need a roster. Not familiar with the names here. By C.J. Hale. It was a perfectly placed ball right there. Went up, almost came down with it. Maybe that ground had a little bit of an element there, knocking that ball loose.
Hale back in the pistol, waiting for the snap. He'll flip this one out to Johnson. Johnson trying to get to the corner, and he's going to be brought down. Flag on the play, and they're going to have Marvin Germany on a hold. I think that one's going to be pretty obvious. That one's going to push him back 10.
And there's the frustration again starting to set in for the Cobras. You set up deep at the 26. You have a great opportunity at the first drive, on the first play rather, and then you get a hold that'll set you back 10 yards on 2nd down. Now you're at a 2nd and 20 here.
Yeah, not even sure that would have been it wasn't. I don't think it was a helpful hold, nonetheless. As we'll get the whistle and we'll mark this one at the 36. So they'll say that happened right at the line of scrimmage, and I'll have to get to the 15-yard line for a 1st down. Germany and Tufts, the receivers to the far side. Wise will join them. T.J. Johnson now to the near side. Empty backfield now for C.J. Hale in the shotgun. 13:57 as the clock continues to run. Quick pass out to Wise. Wise going to be brought down at the 40-yard line. That play will go nowhere. I believe that's Jaden Covington on the tackle for the Phantoms. We talked about the advantages that the Cobras have had. They can't capitalize on. 3rd down now. They're going to mark it at the 41-yard line.
And that was a perfectly well-read play there by the Phantoms defense on the pursuit there. Just being able to bust through and destroy the coverage there by the Cobras and just cause a loss of downs.
D'Angelo Thompson making his way onto the field. Twin receivers, 2 by 2. Hale in the shotgun. Back to pass, out to his right. Hits Devin Tufts, going to slip one tackle. Out to the 40. He'll drop his shoulder, run one Phantom play over and get down near the 34-yard line. DeAndre Pope taking the worst of that shot. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be out of Cooper Ryder's range for a field goal with 12:40 left here, 3rd quarter. 3rd down now for Cleveland.
We're at a 4th and 17 here, so you need something deep down the field, maybe a play action or maybe a deep in or maybe a double post.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Devin Tufts here on this side. He's going to be one-on-one with Justin Wood. With Ty Brown. Back to pass, stepping up under pressure. He's gonna hold on to it, and it's gonna be caught by Lamoris Dillard, and that's gonna be an illegal touching. That one's gonna come back, but the center with the reception will bring up a 4th down. To Dillard's credit, he did get downfield and get some yards, but those will not go on the stat sheet.
No, but maybe that's like a game ball like opportunity at the end of the game. The center gained up a couple yards there.
So, but maybe the ball was tipped, but not the case.
That'll be a flag, but that's going to be the least of that case, as it might be a turnover on downs. But it looks like they might have accepted the. Nope. Looks like they turned it over on downs as.
Okay, so they're going to.
Phantoms offense comes back out.
They'll decline the penalty. Phantoms will take over 1st and 10. They'll mark the ball at the Phantom 32-yard line. 12:04 left here, 3rd quarter. Phantoms with a 14-0 lead over the Cobras. Love it in the shotgun. McKinley to his right. Receivers 2 by 2. They'll be stacked to the far side. They'll send a man in motion from right to left. That'll be Neal. Hand off up the middle. Contact initially, but they'll pick up a couple yards on the play. Nalling in there initially to try to trip him up. But McKinley, a big guy, you have to go low on him like that, but it'll take a team effort to bring him down.
Oh, yeah, and Nalling is doing a fantastic job tonight, just shooting right through the gap and getting pressure into the backfield. He's just got to break down and get low on him and make the tackle.
11:37 left here, third quarter. Clock continuing to run. Cobras trailing by a score of 14-0. Love it in the backfield. Receivers 2 by 2. R.J. McKinley to his right hip. They'll send a man in motion from right to left. Back to pass, 5-step drop. Love it under pressure from Nalling. Steps up and flags everywhere, and he's going to be brought down at the 26-yard line. But a host of flags on the play, and I think I saw the preliminary indication as holding against the Phantoms, and I'm sure that Cleveland will decline that. And Love it getting up a little bit slow as he was at the bottom of that pile. And another, thought we had an additional flag going, but it was the officials throwing the flag back to his umpire. Okay.
And again, there was Nalling once again, shot right through the line, and he was there on the pursuit, just missed the tackle once again.
Durante Nalling causing all kinds of chaos in the backfield now. With 10:59 left here, third quarter. And after some conferences, it will be confirmed that they will decline the penalty. They'll get credit for the sack, and it'll bring up 3rd and 13 for the Phantoms. And Cleveland continues to put the Phantoms in these 3rd and long situations. Little John, Barrico, and Picorni on that front row. Love it in the shotgun. Low snap. Oh, excuse me, that's going to be a new quarterback there. Little John going to bring him down at the 25-yard line. Adonis Harper came in at quarterback for the Phantoms, so maybe Love it a little bit more shaken up than we thought. But this will bring up a 4th down in a punting situation for Flag City.
And the Cobras are really starting to find a groove here on defense. Started off with the botched snap and the fumble recovery, and now getting a 3-and-out here. So the offense has got to pay back the defense in some sort of way here upcoming.
I think the defense would agree with you on that. Maybe a steak dinner if we can pull something off here.
Right.
All right, so Marquise Jones back to do the punting duties. Redmond and Brown back as the protectors for Flag City. Got a receiver coming out to this far end here, so see if maybe you got a little something up their sleeve as Walker now will be the single receiver, be one-on-one with Fortson. And this one actually can be punted away, end-over-end kick. And it'll land right around the 43-yard line. We'll see where the officials are going to mark it. But either way you slice it, Cleveland will have the ball 1st and 10 in Phantom territory. 9:27 left here in the third quarter. Cleveland trails by a score of 14-0. And again, the Cleveland defense comes up big. Now the offense with some opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And so far in the second half here, no positive yardage has happened here in the total of the 3 drives we've had so far here in the third quarter.
Safe to say a defensive game here in week 4. This interleague matchup between the Cobras of the PAFL and the Phantoms of the Players Football Association.
And here we go again. The Cobras starting off in plus territory for the 4th time this game.
Of course, our commissioners here, Jermaine Campbell for the PAFL, Dave Duncan for the PFA. Got some stories about Dave Duncan there. He's a former Cobra. I believe they called him the 15-16 show. He and Des Relaford. As C.J. Hale now in an empty backfield, 3 receivers to his right. 4 receivers to his right, single receiver to the far side. Clock stop with 9:27 left here, and the Phantoms will take a timeout. We'll step aside as well as the Phantoms burn their first timeout. You are listening to PAFL Football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back right after this.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Empty backfield for C.J. Hale. Ball marked at the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 for Cleveland. 9:27 left here, third quarter. Cobras trailing 14-0. We're going to get a flag on the play. False start coming up against Cleveland. And now it will be a 1st and 15 for the Cobras. And it's safe to say becoming their own worst enemy.
Yeah, and it's not even the Phantoms doing anything at this point. It's just shooting themselves in the foot over and over when they're given the chances. They should have at least like 30 points up on the board right now.
So Hale again. He'll try this with the 4 receivers to his right, single receiver to the left. Back to pass. Shoulder fake, rolls out. Has some time, getting some help from Savon. He'll throw it over the middle, and there's going to be a flag on the play. Abe Taylor was the closest receiver to it. And the official on our near side threw the flag. And we're going to have an ineligible man downfield. But who are they talking about would be the interesting question. And that's a call usually that comes from the umpire. So Abe Taylor, the tight end, was not the man on the end of the line. So they're going to say he was the ineligible receiver downfield.
Yeah, now you're just minus 15 now on this drive just from penalties alone. Now you're at around like a 1st and 25 or so.
9:18 left here, third quarter.
That's a horrible call.
As now the ball going to be marked at the Cobra 46-yard line. This started at the Phantom 42-yard line as Hale now in the shotgun. Johnson his left, receivers 2 by 2. 9 minutes left here, third quarter. Hale with the pass out to Thompson. Thompson going to catch this one. He'll be brought down at the 41-yard line, and he'll get back just about near the original line of scrimmage, which was the 42, so it'll be a 2nd and 9 now, as they'll go right back to the line. Johnson to the left of Hale. Twin receivers, 2 by 2. Hale waiting for the snap. They'll give it to Johnson. Johnson upfield. He's got room to run, and he's going to need to hold on to that ball as he's brought down near the 26. And that's enough for a Cleveland first down. And Cleveland going up-tempo here. Clock stop with 8:26 left here as they'll set the chains. Taylor and Thompson, the receivers to the far side. Germany and Wise to the right of Hale.
Finally, the offense starting to find a groove here.
Clock begins to run. Hale back to pass. Plenty of time. Has Johnson out on the wing, directing traffic. Tosses it down the sideline. He'll throw this one away with 8:01 left here in the third quarter. Smart play by the young quarterback. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 now for Hale and the Cobras. We like to see that now, as we, maybe we thought he was trying to do too much last week, but playing a very smart game this week.
Yeah, and the Cobras seem to be having some success here on these slant routes coming over the middle in the passing game. So And finally, Johnson finally found a hole to run through and gain some positive yardage when they had back-to-back 14-yard plays.
Wise in Germany again to the right. D'Angelo Thompson and Abe Taylor to the left. Hale in the shotgun. DeAndre Thompson to his right. 7:30 left here, third quarter. Hale back to pass, stepping up in the pocket, under pressure, and he's got room to run. He's trying to direct traffic. He'll take it himself, past the 20, 15, and he's going to drop the ball on the ground, picked up by the Phantoms and brought out to the 16-yard line. And Flag City gets the turnover. 1st and 10. And the Cobras drive stalls out on a turnover, but it will pin the Phantoms back. The Cleveland defense back on the field.
Yeah, that's just an inexcusable mistake there by CJ, running like that and just coughing up the ball with no force. Wasn't hit or anything, just went to go fall down and it just slipped out of his hands, and it results in a turnover and another.
Got a flag on the field. I believe this one came out late. We're going to see if. And CJ Hale not happy about something, but I think he's going to draw the 15-yard penalty. And that's going to give the Phantoms better field position, as we'll get a second flag. And that may signal the end of CJ Hale's night. We're not sure. We'll have to see who they're going to assess these dead ball fouls against with 7:17 left here, third quarter. Officials are sorted out as defensive coordinator Jamar Fleming will come over and redirect everybody. So after the turnover, Phantoms will have the ball, maybe adding 15 or 30 yards onto the starting point, as the officials will get together. We'll see if we can get a signal from our officiating crew as they try to sort through the flags. Officials meeting out near the hash marks as they'll try to decipher this. So the ball would be at the 21-yard line minus the infractions. And if I seem to understand this correctly, they're going to assess one unsportsmanlike penalty, which should put the ball at the Phantom 36-yard line or thereabout.
And now the Cobras defense back out in the field.
All right, so they're actually going to drop it at the 35-yard line. 7:17 left here, third quarter. Phantoms with the ball after the turnover. Arthur Green working his way into the defensive line rotation for the Cobras. And we'll get the whistle for play here. 1st and 10 for the Phantoms, marked at the 30-yard line. Lovett in the shotgun. Twin receivers 2x2. They'll hand this one up the middle. And contact made, brought down near the 33-yard line. Marquise Graham on the run for Flag City. Cobras still trail by a score of 14-0. Sun going down here. Air a little bit cooler now. Love it with the cadence. Again, handoff up the middle, trying to work out to the far side. Contact by Nico St. Clair will knock him out of bounds, and I believe he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage no more.
And this Cobras defense is really standing up to the Phantoms offense right now to start this second half. They're really bailing out the offense.
Fortson and St. Clair on that side seal it up. And our back judge is admonishing somebody. We're getting some whistles as head coach Demir Relford trying to figure out
what is going on. He'll try to send everybody back. Clock will continue to run here. 5:57 left, third quarter. Love it in the shotgun. Graham to his right. 3 receivers now to the far side. Single receiver to the near side. That'll be Caleb Fultz. We'll keep an eye on him. He'll be one-on-one with Kev Fortson. Love it. 3-step drop, stepping up in the pocket. Under pressure, fires over the middle. That's going to be caught at the 44-yard line. Nas Neal on the reception for Flag City. Clock will continue to run with 5.5 left here, third quarter.
Another third down conversion there for the Phantoms.
So Love it with the handoff up the middle. Make his way out to the 46, maybe 47-yard line. Pick up a 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 now for Flag City with 5 minutes left here, third quarter. A little bit of a breeze here coming through here. Nothing that will affect anything, but kind of feels nice after a hot day here in Northeast Ohio. Veteran Carmen, the linebackers. Love it with 3 receivers now to his right. Handoff off the left side, and he'll make his way into Cleveland territory down to the 46-yard line. Matt Federer on the tackle. Tyrone Walker on the run for Flag City. So it seemed like they drew everybody out to that right side and then ran it back to the backside. Fourth, 4:03 left. As the officials now trying to keep control of what's going on, maybe a little bit too much talking going on. As the Phantoms now back to the line. 3rd and 1 for the Phantoms. Love it. He'll step back in the shotgun. One running back to offset to his right. 3 receivers to the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Handoff up the middle. Contact. He's not going to get it. Brought down at the 48-yard line. He needed to get to the 45. And Albert Picorni coming in, leading the charge. He'll cut him down, and he'll be the last one to get up from under the pile with 3:18 left. And again, the Cleveland defense doing their job. It'll be 4th down. But the Phantoms, I believe, are probably going to go for this up by 2 scores.
Huge third down stop there. You know, of the very few you saw tonight, that was a huge play. Great pursuit there by the Cobras defense, and a huge play upcoming on a 4th and 2 here.
Well, they're actually going to mark it at the 47. I thought it was the 48, but we'll give them that extra yard.
Discount Power Sport.
So Morris and Love, the receivers to the far side. Movement up front. Flag on the play, and they're going to, now they threw the flag towards the offense. Let's see what the head linesman said versus the line judge. And they're going to say it's encroachment on Cleveland, so that's going to be an easy 1st down for the Phantoms. So the one thing they couldn't do, they did.
And again, another opportunity to stop them on defense, and another self-inflicted wound there for the Cobras, as now they give to them a new set of downs in plus territory.
2.5 minutes left here, third quarter. Week 4 of the PAFL season. Of course, this is an interleague matchup with the Phantoms from the Players Football Association. 1st and 10 for Cleveland. Ball marked at the Cobra 42-yard line. Love it. And a pistol with tailback behind him. Fullback to his right. Low snap. Try to pitch it out. Nowhere to go. Trying to move it. He's got a little bit of room to run. 40, 35. And he'll get down to the 34-yard line. So what should have been a broken play and a loss of yards ends up being a positive play for Flag City.
I think you're starting to see a little bit of experience here out of Maurice Lovett, you know, being a semi-pro player for so many years, having patience there, and in that pocket to get out of it, follow his blockers, and pick up a good chunk of change.
And of course, again, we have followed him over the years, and not many better to do it at this level than him. So Neal, single receiver to the near side, twin receivers to the far side. McKinley will be to the right of Lovett. You'll have Graham behind him. 1:13 left here, third quarter. Lovett will hand this one off to Graham. Graham stood up after a couple-yard gain. Robert Littlejohn on the initial contact. Make it just about 3rd and 1 for the Phantoms. See if Lovett will try to draw him offside again.
And another big defensive play here for the Cobras, 3rd and 1. We saw what happened on the last one. Hopefully they can convert on this.
40 seconds left here. The clock will continue to run. Third quarter action here from Lakewood. Flag City will go to the huddle.
Looks like the Phantoms are trying to milk this clock here to get to the end of the quarter.
So McKinley again to the right of Lovett. This time they'll hand it off the right side of the Phantoms offense. That'll be plenty enough for a Flag City first down. They'll mark it at the 29-yard line as time ticks down here into third quarter. That will bring us to the end of the third quarter. After 3, the Cobras trail the Flag City Phantoms by a score of 14-0. Fourth quarter action coming up here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One Network. We're back right after this.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Fresh 15 minutes up on the board as we get ready for fourth quarter action here in Lakewood. Phantoms with a 14-0 lead over the Cleveland Cobras. And as you track this drive, another long drive for the Phantoms.
And I think that's been the Achilles heel for the Cobras the entire season. Being caught out in the field for long sustained drives on the defense, not giving the offense enough time, and also not the offense converting on the opportunities that they're given.
So the 10th play of the drive here so far, 41 yards for the Phantoms. Lovett in the shotgun, McKinley to his right. Redmond behind him. Twin receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side. McKinley will switch from the right to the left side. Lovett will take time to make some adjustments. Back to pass, play action, downfield, down the sideline, and it's going to be overthrown. Pass intended for Naz Neal. And that'll bring up second down for the Phantoms. After taking a shot downfield up by 2 scores, you really don't mind taking that shot.
No, being up 2 scores on a 1st and 10, they're inching near the red zone here. It's not a bad look going downfield, hopefully looking for the dagger here that could end the Cobras' night soon.
Redmond will head to the sideline. Graham will replace him for the Phantoms. Brandon Carmen, and Littlejohn and Federer, the linebacking core for Cleveland. 14:50 here. The clock will continue to run. Ball still marked at the Cobra 29-yard line. Lovett checking to the sideline. He has McKinley and Graham in the backfield with him. Lovett with the cadence. Nolling showing some pressure. Back to pass, and it's going to be caught. Oh, incomplete, incomplete. That'll bring up third down for Cleveland. Shandon Morris, the intended target for Levitt. Morris going to drop for some push-ups here. Knows he should have had that one.
I'm going to say it.
A little self-discipline.
Another third down here for the Cobras. Another third and long. It's the 3rd and 10. They've had a couple good breaks here on the past 2 plays.
So Morris and Love will be the receivers to the far side. Twin receivers to the right of Lovett. Graham will remain in the backfield. 3rd and 10. Lovett rolling to the near side, looking downfield, has some time. Robert Littlejohn chasing him down. He'll create some time, fires it over the middle. It's going to be caught at the 10-yard line and into the end zone. The Flag City Phantoms take a 20-0 lead. Ben Kershaw with the reception. Gets into the end zone. 29-yard touchdown pass from Lovett to Kershaw. Gives the Phantoms a 20-0 cushion.
It'll be 12 plays here. 12 plays, 70 yards for the Phantoms. Another long touchdown drive. That could be the dagger for the Cobras tonight.
So Lovett with his 3rd touchdown of the night. This one to Kershaw. Good for 29 yards. And the Phantoms will go for 2. Lovett with 3 touchdown passes to 3 different receivers. Lovett with McKinley to his right, rolling out to the near side. Barrico putting on some pressure, and he's going to be brought down. Federer will clean him up, and a flag's going to come out. The try is no good. We'll see what the flag is, as Lovett will peel himself up off the ground.
He's taking a beating tonight.
And they're going to wave off the flag, so Federer and Barrico putting pressure on, breaks up the play, and our score will remain 20-0 with 13:32 left here in the game. Cobras will get the ball back momentarily here.
And I think at this point we're looking for a miracle here. 13 and a half minutes to go, down 20, down 3 scores.
So 13:32 left here, fourth quarter. Cobras will get the ball back. Looking to put some points up here. The kick return team's giving them good field position here during the game. Just got to find some opportunity to do something with it.
I think they've been given opportunities.
Yeah, certainly a lot of penalties going the Cobras' way.
Yeah, they've definitely cleaned up the discipline aspect of their game over the past couple weeks.
So the Phantoms out for the kickoff. Cody Brown, the left-footed kicker. Put this one into play. Got a breeze coming along here, so we'll see if he'll need a holder here for the tee. Cooper Ryder had a little trouble earlier with this wind. And indeed, the ball will fall off. I'll give it one more shot, see if we don't need a holder. And Brown into this one, straight down the middle, end over end, short kick. It'll bounce off a Cobra player, picked up and brought out past the 40 and down near the 44-yard line. And again, the Cobra kick return team will give them decent field position to start with. 13:25 left here, fourth quarter. Cobras trail by a score of 20-0. Maurice Lovett, the catalyst for the Phantoms offense here. 3 touchdown passes tonight. Able to hit Morris, Hutchins, and Kershaw, all 4 scores.
Not bad.
All right, so they will mark the ball at the Cleveland 44-yard line. 13:25 left here in the game. Dave Thompson now in at quarterback as C.J. Hale's night may be over. This one going to be thrown right into the ground. Pass was intended for Matt Wise, went right into the turf, so Thompson looking for some warm-up time, I'm sure.
And Dave Thompson, for being a big fella there back there, has got a little bit of a cannon on him. That ball came off with some zing on the last pass.
So Thompson in the shotgun, Johnson to his left, twin receivers to the near side, twin receivers to the far side as well. Johnson now moved from the left side of Slap Thompson to the right. Thompson with the hard count, and we're going to have a flag on the play. They're going to have encroachment against the Phantoms. That'll make it 2nd and 5 for Cleveland. Clock will stop with 13:07 left here, fourth quarter. And there you see a little bit of a difference with the experienced quarterback in there. He'll use that hard count. Clock will begin to run here with 13:07 left. At least the official's trying to get the clock to run. Receivers 2 by 2. Johnson to the left of Thompson. 2nd and 5 for Cleveland. Phantom showing some pressure off the edge. Thompson back to pass. Fires down the sideline. And it's going to be on the tip and intercepted by Flag City and out of bounds. A turnover for Cleveland. Jaden Covington on the interception. Gives the Phantoms the ball in Cleveland territory. 12:37 left here, fourth quarter. And a late game appearance by Dave Thompson. Not working out how everybody would have hoped.
And I think the Phantoms are starting to smell victory here as we're winding down here with 12:37 left in the game.
Week 4 of the Cleveland Cobras PAFL season. Again, this was a filler game as the Phantoms make the trip to Lakewood out of the PFA. So the Phantoms will send Adonis Harper out to the far side, as well as Sanders and Hutchins. Single receiver to the near side. Love it in the backfield. He'll be in the shotgun. Maurice Lovett back to pass, plants his feet, fires, caught inside the 40 and brought down near the 38-yard line. Michael Lall on the reception for Flag City. They'll mark the ball at the 37. Clock will continue to run, 12:24 left in the game as we begin to wind down week 4 of the PAFL season. Great game earlier on Western Reserve Radio 2. Love it with the handoff. Contact made in the backfield. Initial contact by Picorni. Little John will come in to clean it up. And we have a Phantom down on the field right around the 35-yard line as they will attend to him. Again, we want to talk about the great game we had earlier on Western Reserve Radio 2. The Youngstown Patricians hosting the Steel City Bobcats. Bobcats get the 14-7 win in double overtime. That game hit zeros with scores with zeros.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think those first 4 quarters maybe took hour 35.
A very fast-moving game. 54 minutes for the first half as we were driving up here to Lakewood.
And maybe Mr. Galbraith over there in Youngstown's got a bright future with that new organization, the Patricians.
Yep, had a couple new signings this week. And it seemed like for a good while, our Patricians had an opportunity to win that one.
Yeah, kind of like almost like the Cobras side, but you know, that was just a slugfest on defense in that early window game.
Love it. One single receiver to the far side in the shotgun. 3 receivers to our near side. Back to pass. Deontay McDonald trying to track him down. Picorni trying to get to him. Throws it down there, and it's going to be incomplete near the 8-yard line. Pass was intended for Aaron Sanders. Again, a listed a tight end, but he's been spread wide out here for most of the game. Ball came up just a little bit short. He tried to scoop that one off the ground, but couldn't bring it in. Clock will stop with 11:22 left in the game.
I think you're starting to see a lot of the experience here from Mr. Lovett there at the quarterback position. Just his patience and his decision-making is so sublime here in terms of taking his time, standing in the pocket, waiting for the play to develop, finding guys downfield.
So 3rd and 10 for the Phantoms. Lovett bringing in the play from the sideline. 3 receivers to the far side. Single receiver to the near side. That'll be Ben Kershaw. Kershaw with a touchdown just moments ago. Graham in the backfield as well to the left of Lovett. Phantoms moving left to right on your devices. Should you be listening on Live 365, they'll throw it out into the flats. Out to Graham. Chased down by Carmen. He'll miss him. And Graham breaking a few tackles, and he'll make his way into the end zone. 37-yard scamper into the end zone. Graham makes this game 26-0 with 10:30 left here in the 4th quarter.
And that play right there just showed just a lack of football fundamentals there, not breaking down, wrapping up, and just letting him run all over you down for a 37-yard touchdown off of a screenplay. You know, there's a lot that could be fixed here. A lot of easy mistakes, inexcusable mistakes made by the Cobras that could very well be fixed. And if they just fix those little mistakes, they could be looking at a very different record this year.
Phantoms have gone for a 2-point conversion on the 3 previous touchdowns. I assume they will do the same. Kinley here in the backfield as well as Dwight Allen. Kershaw, single receiver to the far side. Hutchins and Harper. Receivers to the right. Lovett, pistol formation. Again, 2-point conversion coming up after the 37-yard run by Graham for the Phantoms touchdown. They'll pitch it out. Actually, it'll be kept and thrown into the corner, and it's going to be good. And the Phantoms convert 4-2. That'll make it 28-0 here with 10:30 left here, 4th quarter. And despite all the opportunities here, Cleveland struggling to get into the end zone.
Yeah, and I think the Phantoms have sealed a victory here, extending their lead to 4 possessions here with 10.5 left in the 4th quarter, as the Cobras could be looking at playing for next week in terms of getting prepared for their next game and maybe working on some things that they could improve on.
10.5 minutes left here, 4th quarter. 28-0 is the score in favor of the Flag City Phantoms. Ten and a half minutes for Cleveland. See if they can put something together, maybe get some points up on the board. Brown will come out, kick this one off. It's gotten a little bit windy up here in Lakewood. Ball falling off the tee a couple of times. try to get you a schedule for next week coming up from around the PAFL. And it's final down in West Virginia. The Leviathan, they get the 22-16 win over the Falls Rapids as Wise now out to the far side looking for some room to run. They'll be pushed out of bounds near the 45-yard line. That's where Cleveland will start out 1st and 10 with 9:41 left here. $28-0 is your score. Officials will wind the clock. Rams with a 32-0 win over the Express. Leviathan knock off the Falls Rapids. Always a rough trip down there to West Virginia. Long ride. So Thompson into shock and back to pass. Looking for Germany on that. Threw a pass behind the receiver, and it's going to be incomplete. 2nd and 10 for Cleveland. Clock will continue to run with 8:40 left in the game.
And they're starting to work on that short game here on the outside the past 2 drives that Thompson's been in at quarterback.
Dave Thompson coming in again in relief of C.J. Hale. Thompson, he'll plant his feet, fire down the sideline as a receiver open, overthrew him. I'll bring up 3rd down again for Cleveland. So Dave Thompson showing off the arm strength.
Yeah, he didn't even need to step in that one. Look, he just stood there with his feet planted and just launched that thing.
Coming up next week in the PAFL will be the Tri-County Rams heading over to take on the Glass City Tigers. The Michigan Hurricanes and the Ohio Broncos will get together. Mid-Ohio Patriots will be here as they will take on these very Cobras. The Patricians will head up to InfoCision Stadium in Akron to take on Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. The West Virginia Leviathan will take on the Erie Express. And finally, the Lions and the Fire will meet as we're going to get a flag for a false start here. They'll move Cleveland back 5. And to round out next week, the Beaver County Arctic Bengals will take on the Steel City Bobcats. That should be a good one. They're over in Pittsburgh. Bobcats again getting the double overtime win over the Youngstown Patricians today. 3 receivers on the near side. That'll be Wise, Thompson, and Germany. Single receiver to the far side. Thompson to Johnson. Johnson's going to drive his feet, make his way onto the Phantom side of the field as the clock will continue to run with 6:40 left here in the game.
Yeah, no, I think you're going to see the Cobras start leaving the offense out there on 4th downs as the Phantoms have pretty much put this game away and out of reach for the Cobras. So they're going to stick them out there, work on some things, and play for next week.
4th and 3 for Cleveland. Ball at the Phantoms' 48-yard line. 3 wideouts to the left of Thompson, single receiver to the far side. And we got some movement up front, and that's going to put the Cobras back 5. Just under 6 minutes to play here in quarter 4 of week 4 of the PAFL season, with the very large arachnoid type person hanging out on our window. So again, the ball at the 47-yard line. Back on the Cleveland side of the field. 5:26 left in the game. 3 receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side. Thompson in the shotgun, Johnson to his right. Everybody Crowd in the box, they're going to back out now. Thompson, three-step drop, step it up, fires over the middle, caught by Germany. He's going to get tripped up, but he's going to get his feet back. He'll make it out to the 20. He'll hold on to the ball, and he'll drag 3 or 4 Phantoms players down to the 10. And it'll be first and goal for Cleveland with under 5 minutes to play here. Marvin Germany on the catch. A great throw by Dave Thompson.
Yeah, that was, the Cobras went back to that slant pattern that I think has been their most successful route of the night in terms of the passing game.
So they're going to call this first and goal from the 10. 3 receivers to the near side. Again, that'll be Wise, Thompson, and Germany. Dave Thompson in the shotgun. Johnson is right, single receiver to the far side. Approaching the 4-minute mark here. The fourth quarter. Thompson back to pass, fires out over the middle, and that ball going to be dropped. Looking for that far receiver on the side with the slant again, but that one's going to go into the turf. And it'll bring up second and goal now for Cleveland as they look to get into the end zone. Try to wind this one down on a positive note.
Yeah, the Cobras keep looking for that man on the slant route. Just couldn't quite execute on that last play.
And we're going to get some whistles here. Clock will stop with 3:47 left. And Flag City will take the timeout. 3:47 left here in the game. We'll step aside for a quick break. You're listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia One Network, Youngstown, Ohio.
Second on goal for the Cobras. 3:47 left here in the game. We're going to go 2 by 2 with the receivers. Johnson in the backfield to the left of Thompson. Sunset down here. We're playing under the lights here in Lakewood. Quick pass over the middle. Going to be tipped and picked up. Oh, and dropped in the end zone. Phantom's looking for another interception. Now we're going to have a flag on the play. And the clock will continue to run here as they'll try to wind this one down. Didn't catch what the call was. So the officials are going to talk right near the goal line here. Just over 3.5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Cobras down by 4 scores here, trail 28-0. So after some discussion, so the penalty will be against the defense. They're going to mark the ball at the 2-yard line. Okay, actually going to move the ball back now. The initial indication was that it was going to be against Flag City, but all right, we'll bring this one back. We'll mark it at the 20, maybe the 21. And I believe our referee did indicate that it was first down. All right, we're just going to roll with it. 3:39 left here in the game. Thompson in a shotgun. Johnson to his left. I'll stay with the same 3 receivers in there. Single receiver to the far side. Thompson with the count. Quick pass out to the near side. Pass intended for Devin Tufts, but it's going to be thrown right into the turf as the clock will continue to run with 3.5 minutes left here in Lakewood. Cobras searching for answers. They are on the precipice of being 0-4 on the PAFL season, 2-4 overall. As the clock continues to run towards the 3-minute mark here in Cleveland, ball marked at the 20-yard line. So 2nd and goal for Cleveland. And go back to the same formation. Thompson waiting for the snap. Johnson to his right. Back to pass, under pressure. Going to dump it out to Thompson, but it's going to go off the tip of his fingers, and we're going to get a flag. I believe that's going to be a holding call coming up against Cleveland. Taylor Johnson going to be the guilty party. They're going to decline the penalty as the clock stopped with 2:45 left in the game. So after the maybe overly celebrated penalty, it'll be declined.
Well, on a half-glass full notice, might be the Cobras' longest drive of the game.
3rd and goal from the 20-yard line. Empty backfield now for Dave Thompson. Receivers 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Thompson, pump fake, fires out to his left. And I think he was looking for D'Angelo Thompson. Thompson went to the inside, pass went to the outside. And that'll bring up 4th and goal for Cleveland at the Phantom 20-yard line.
5 straight incompletions for Thompson and the Cobras offense on this drive.
So C.J. Hale replaced by Dave Thompson. Haven't been able to generate much in the way of offense either way. 1:58 left here in the game. Well, they actually stopped it for the 2-minute warning. Okay. All right, so we'll go to the 2-minute warning here in Lakewood with the Phantoms leading Cleveland Cobras by the score of 28-0. We'll step aside for a break. You are listening to Cleveland Cobras football here on Western Reserve Radio, part of the iMedia One network.
Catch all of the spring and summer action of Cleveland Cobras minor league football on Western Reserve Radio. Follow the Cobras as they compete against teams from around the region in pursuit of a Tri-Point Football League championship. And if you're looking to continue your football career after high school, college, or even the pros, or to be part of the Cobras staff, go to clevelandcobrasfootball.com, Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or contact owner Jesse Caldwell at 330-416-3442. Be a part of the excitement of Cleveland Cobras football.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
1:58 left here in the game. Jeff Cooper Ryder coming on for a 37-yard field goal attempt. C.J. Hale to hold. Cleveland trying to break the shutout. And we're going to get whistles. And it's going to be Cleveland that takes a timeout. Excuse me, the Phantoms are going to take a timeout. Official flipped over there and said, nope, I got it wrong. But the Phantoms take a timeout here, trying to ice the kicker here, I guess, with 1:58 left in the game. Trying to protect the shutout maybe for the defense.
That'd probably be my best guess.
Cleveland just trying to avoid the shutout. They're going to give Cooper Ryder the opportunity for the 37-yard field goal. So Cooper Ryder waiting for his holder.
Looks like C.J. Hill is coming back into the game to hold.
So Cooper Ryder, the former Toledo Rocket, will come in for the 37-yard field goal. Snap is back. Kick is up. And that one will be good. 1:53 left here in the game. Cooper Ryder gets Cobras on the board. It's 28-3 in favor of the Flag City Phantoms. And that will break the stalemate here. Cleveland will not be shut out this week by virtue of a 37-yard field goal by Jeff Cooper Ryder.
Yeah, a 10-play drive there for the Cobras, resulting in a 37-yard field goal by Cooper Ryder. So I guess there's a little bit of a light here at the end of the tunnel for the Cobras, finally putting together a decent drive to put some points up on the board.
Yeah, penalties hurting them as well. Next week, the Cobras will host the Mid-Ohio Patriots right here in Lakewood. All in all, not a bad night here. So it seems to have cooled off. Nice breeze here up in the press box. Be back next week with Youngstown Patrician Football on Western Reserve Radio 2. Mark Means, Dave Clark, Dave Ferris will head to InfoCision Stadium. That'll be a 5 o'clock kickoff from the campus of Akron University, home of the Zips. Of course, you got to see the stadium and seen it once or twice there on ESPN, a little MAC action during the middle of the week.
Oh yeah, I can never go wrong with Maction on a Wednesday night during the middle of the week.
That's right, Maction. That's
some of the best conference play you might see in the FBS level.
So an onside kick, ball loose on the ground and still loose. And it looks like finally the Phantoms will pick this one up. And the clock shows 1:46 left. And I assume they will take a few knees. We will wrap this one up, and we will head to week 5 of the PAFL season. Again, the Patricians will take on the Falls Rapids. That a 5 o'clock kickoff over on Western Reserve Radio 2. Mark Means, Dave Clark, Dave Ferris. And we will, of course, have the Cleveland Cobras and the Mid-Ohio Patriots here in Lakewood. 6:45 airtime, 7 o'clock kickoff. As our arachnoid friend makes his way down. It's a big spider. And I believe that they're going to run the clock down and wrap this one up from Cleveland. So, indeed, they are going to. So that's going to bring us to the end here in Lakewood. As the Flag City Phantoms, they come into Lakewood, they get the 28-3 win over the Cleveland Cobras. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll get you a scoring recap. And again, we'll go over the schedule for next week as we bring you more PAFL action here on Western Reserve Radio.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Your home for PAFL football is the iMedia One Network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
Back here one last time in Lakewood as we wrap up week 4 of the PAFL season. We take a look at the scoring recap.
see how we got here, as it would be a scoreless first quarter, but it would be the second quarter when Maurice Lovett would start to get the Phantoms offense going. 10:45 left. It would be Lovett to Morris on a 43-yard touchdown pass, and they would convert on the 2-point conversion. With 16 seconds left, Lovett would hit Hutchins on an 11-yard touchdown pass. It would not convert on that 2-point attempt, and it would make it 14-0 going into the break. Third quarter action. With 13:32 left in there, it would be Lovett again to Kershaw on a 29-yard touchdown strike that would give the Phantoms a 20-0 lead. And with 10:30 left in the third quarter, Marquise Graham would scamper into the end zone on a 37-yard touchdown run, and the Phantoms would get the 2-point conversion to make it a 28-0 game. And with 1:53 left in the game, Jeff Cooper-Ryder would hit a 37-yard field goal to break the shutout. And that would give us our final score tonight. As the Phantoms come into town, they get the 28-3 win over the Cleveland Cobras. Cobras, again, back in action next week here in Lakewood. A 7 o'clock kickoff, 6:45 airtime for us, as they will take on the Mid-Ohio Patriots. And for the Cleveland Cobras, talked about it, a lot of opportunity, a lot of things they didn't take advantage of. I think they're going to look back on that film and say, you know what, we had our chances.
Yeah, and that's basically been the story of this season ever since that second game. There's always so many times you can go back to the drawing board before having the deep dive into really what is the issue within this team that could be an internal thing that's preventing them from becoming a team that could be top of the league, top of the state in the semi-pro level.
Yeah, a lot of frustration for the coaching staff here as well as the players here as they try to figure out a solution here as they enter the halfway mark of the PAFL season. Again, I want to remind you, coming up next week on Western Reserve Radio 2, 3:45 airtime, 4 o'clock kickoff. It will be the Youngstown Patricians and the Falls Rapids meeting at Infocision Stadium on the campus of Akron University. And then that will be followed by a 6:45 airtime, 7 o'clock kickoff right here in Lakewood, as the Mid-Ohio Patriots will make their way up from Mount Vernon, Ohio, to take on the Cobras. Make sure you tune in to all of our social media this week, as we will have a couple of kind of cool announcements here. A little new feature coming up for the iMedia One Network. Little teaser there, so we hope we stick around for that. And, of course, on Saturday at 9 a.m., it is the Saturday Morning Sports Page with Pat Lucia and Dave Clark, as they talk about the wonderful world of sports from 9 to 11 a.m. here on the iMedia One Network. So for our engineer, Matt Craven, for my partner this week, Will Craven, I'm Jim Craven. Thanks for joining us here for Week 4 of the PAFL season. Your score one last time. The Flag City Phantoms, 28. The Cleveland Cobras, 3. And we will see you all next week back here in Lakewood on the iMedia One Network. We hope that you have a fantastic weekend. Good night.
We thank you for joining us for this special presentation of Western Reserve Radio. And we now return to our regularly scheduled programming.